did I ever tell you what happened to Uber Eats with me with like one Saturday?
No. That's a fairly vague question.
I know, it is. But so I have a history with delivery apps and just not getting my food.
Just not at all?
Yeah. It's only happened twice. But it's happened twice within like a month. So it's getting kind of annoying.
I've gotten another person's food once.
That's nice. Because it's just
like whatever.
Well, did you order food or did it just show up at your house?
No. I ordered food and they mixed up the order.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Did you eat it?
Yeah.
How was it?
Fine.
Well, what were you ordering and what did you get?
I don't remember. It was like over a year ago.
Okay, so I ordered. It's always from McDonald's for me because I'm like I do it when I'm drunk. Mm-hmm. So it's like 2 a.m. No, it was like.
Did we ever mention that Ian was the Nugget King of Southern Ontario on this podcast?
I would like to do it again.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever mentioned that story.
No.
But once at a party, at parties most of the time, I don't know if your house parties are the same, but most of the time at a house party, somebody's going to order a big pizza for everybody.
Yeah, well, this was pre-Big Pizza. Big Pizza happens way too often now, and not even when there's enough people to justify the Big Pizza.
But the Big Pizza is iconic.
Yeah, and it's nice.
Yeah,
I thank God we finally got over getting a half cheese one.
Yeah.
Because it was like, guys, Emily's vegetarian, but she'll fucking eat it.
Or she'll pull the fucking peppy ponies
Yeah, they're
off.
not that hard. Well, she's not like a hardcore vegetarian. She was raised vegetarian.
No, she wasn't raised vegetarian. She's like a vegetarian because she dealt with corpses.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got drunk at a few parties and I ordered chicken nuggets.
100
of
nuggets.
Them. Here's the thing:
McDonald's.
less expensive than you think,
Sure, but
also more expensive than you think.
Yeah, more expensive than you'd want, less expensive than you'd think.
Yeah, it's $69.
Yeah, so that's like more than the big pizza costs.
Yeah, but it's funnier.
It's funnier. It's 100% funnier, and like the first time he did it was so surprising.
It was I think it was at Megan's.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
It was
this
like
was
a group
pre-COVID.
It was like a group of 15 people. Both of these times were pre-COVID.
Yeah,
it was a group of like 15 people at Megan's, which is like standard party thing, or like weekend hangout. And I just like ordered 100 nuggets without telling anybody, and I just like someone was like, "Yo, there's Uber Eats here," and I just walked back. I'm like, "Oh, it's for me." I'm like, "You ordered food? Didn't ask anyone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because you'll have it."
Yeah.
And I walked in with 100 nuggets.
So me and Ian were talking while he was ordering it, so I knew about it, but like maybe 2 or 3 other people knew, max. but Ian was like, "What should I do?" I was like, "Just get one of every dipping sauce."
Yeah, but the thing is that it's kind of a waste though, because isn't there like honey mustard or something? Or
Honey mustard's fine.
All you need is like barbecue, sweet and sour, and
if there's like a nice spicy one,
but that's new. That wasn't around at the time.
You're right.
And then I did it again at Blake's house, but I think I ordered 200.
I think that was a bigger party.
It was a bigger party, and that's where I got my name, Nugget Jesus.
Nugget Jesus is what somebody called you, but
it was Zaz's boyfriend called me that.
I wanted to pivot it to, as of today, the Nugget King of Manhattan, because I just think that's a funnier name.
We don't live in Manhattan.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, so I walked in with like 200 nuggets. Someone had a chicken nugget for like the first time ever there. Or maybe it was Emily the first time.
I think it might have been Emily. Maybe not a chicken nugget.
You know, I don't know if Emily and Derek were together when
they would have been. They were
at Megan's.
I think that was around the time when they pivoted from being friends with benefits to dating, because, and this is true, they started becoming more serious because I had started dating my ex. Mm-hmm. And brought her around a couple times. And then Derek was like, "Oh, maybe it's cool to have a girlfriend."
Maybe it's cool to have a girlfriend with like 3 people around us who are in like committed relationships.
Yeah, but I was like the bring her around and she's new
guy.
Because everybody else, we have a very incestuous friend group, so they all just fuck each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now on to more recent news. So one time I ordered McDonald's, and I ordered breakfast or something. No, I ordered food, but it was like the turn at like 3 to 4 or something
in the morning,
or like 3:30 to 4. I don't know. Breakfast starts at like 4 a.m. now or something.
Yeah. But
there's all day breakfast. There is not all day lunch. You can't get a burger during the breakfast period.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. I've done this multiple times with multiple people. Past 4 a.m. to 11 a.m., you cannot get a hamburger or chicken nuggets. You can only get breakfast food.
I thought there was like the little drop down at the top and it says all day breakfast, and then you click the drop down and then it says lunch and dinner menu.
Like on what? On
Uber Eats?
No, I've scrolled through it. It's just all that. I think they used to offer like the value menu stuff, like a McDouble, but they because there's a lot more variety on their breakfast now, they just
maybe
only
Tim
offer
Hortons
breakfast.
That does that.
What?
Maybe it's Tim Hortons where it has the drop down.
Probably because Tim Hortons food is all like similar.
Yeah.
And so is McDonald's.
By the way, the habanero wrap that they just came out with at Timmy's, delish. And not to advertise shell for Tim Hortons with fucking Tim Hortons.
It's not facing the camera. All right, so I ordered from them, and the guy it was really quick. It was like supposed to be like 40 minutes, and then like within 15 minutes, it says it was delivered to my house. I'm like, oh, sick. I go downstairs, no food at my door.
Damn.
I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Did you check the tracking?
What?
Did you check the tracking?
It said it was just delivered.
Oh,
so the tracking was done. It said the guy had come
map
to my house and delivered the food.
And did they send the picture or no?
Not all of them have to send the picture.
They don't have to.
Yeah. I think it's when it's a bigger food order they do. So anyways, I'm like, well, even though there's a bright red light that says my address. Like I have one of those things that says like the number in bright red lighting so you can see it at all times.
So blessed.
And I was like, I'll go walk around. I walked across the street, nothing. Like I checked the neighbors. I'm pretty sure if they have Ring cameras, they've been activated with me just like popping my head over at like 3 a.m. Be like, my fucking food here twice. I checked the neighbor to my right, checked the neighbor to my left, walked across the street, checked there, nothing. I messaged Uber Eats, like support. I'm like, bro, they never delivered my food. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then the guy just says, let me figure this out for you. Contacted the driver and then the restaurant or whatever. And it just said, oh yeah, they don't serve food. They won't make that food at this time at night anymore. So they just couldn't complete the order. So the fucking guy just delivered and didn't actually bring me my food and took my money. So of course, like I got a refund.
Yeah.
But so last night I ordered my food. I'm blatantly falling asleep in my chair upstairs.
Yeah.
Like the Discord was watching Antlers or something. Or I fell asleep during Antlers. I woke up at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're all Wendigos now. I've already seen the movie, so I didn't care to watch it. I think it's like a very mid horror movie. But that's what they love. So I go down, I look at my phone, it says food has been delivered. Walk outside, nothing. Walk around the block, do the check again, nothing. Roommates are in the bar, walk over to them and be like, guys, did either of you grab any food from outside? And they're like, no, we haven't seen anything or heard anything. And Daxter didn't like bark at him or anything. So I go to request a refund. It only would allow me to request to get the cost of the item back. Like I ordered like a double quarter pounder meal.
Yeah.
They would only give me 16 of the $20 back because they wouldn't want to give me the service fee or the tip I gave the courier that didn't bring my food.
That sucks, man.
So I had to spend half an hour on like their shitty chat support being like, no, you're giving me that $4 back as well. This is so fucking stupid. There was no option that says my food isn't here and it says it is, which should give you all of your money back. It was like you can only say that part of your you had missing items, and they'll instantly refund you for missing items. Yeah. Like, there was a while where I was ordering Popeyes, like, late at night, and they stopped offering blackened ranch as a dipping sauce for the tendies. But they didn't take it off the fucking menu. So I would order it, and they'd send me every dipping sauce but.
That's awesome.
Okay. There's blackened ranch, and then there's buttermilk ranch. But then instead they would send me, like, sweet and sour, the spicy one, and hot mustard.
One is my fave.
It's not bad, but it's still like I love the blackened ranch, but it's just gone now. It's been replaced by buttermilk ranch. But they just kept sending me hot mustard.
I'm not a huge ranch on nuggies guy. I like ranch, but I don't love it on nuggies.
I like blackened ranch. It's special to me. It's tasty. I don't know what's the difference.
It's probably got that like
it's Queen of Spades
fake smoke flavor in it.
Yeah, there's one ingredient part of the ranch that they fucking charred before.
Well, like, ranch is just mayonnaise with dill in it.
So then they probably, like, char the dill.
Or they just probably more accurately put liquid smoke in there.
Yeah.
That's that, by the way, if you don't know what liquid smoke is, it is essentially a chemical sauce that you add to something to make it taste like barbecued or with a slight char to it.
They add it to lie to you.
It's fake char flavor that they put in sauces most of the time.
Yeah, so after I got my food, after I didn't get my food, got my refund, I sat there and I'm like, I still want food. And then I'm telling Ryan and Michael the story. Yeah. And Michael also had just thought about ordering McDonald's. And he's like super high. His friend was over and they were just like smoking bowls. And then I'm like 10 beers deep, and Ryan had just woken up because he had like a weird thing. He works nights now.
Yeah.
In a thing that fucked up his like sleep schedule because he had to go to a funeral.
Oh.
And so he went back to work. But then on Friday when he was supposed to go to sleep, he didn't like sleep until like 7 at night. So he woke up at midnight. So anyways, I got Ryan to drive my car to go get us McDonald's. We were all in the car, but like, because he was the only sober one. But he also only has his G1. And like legally, if I'm in the car,
yeah,
and it's the daytime, he could drive. Also, if I'm not drunk.
Well, it's you or Blake, right? Because you both have your full G.
Yeah, we've had I think you have to have your full G for like a few years, and I've had mine for like almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
Michael just got his full G, so he doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But Blake has had his full G for like 10 years now.
He could not have had his full G for 10 years.
8 years. Sorry, I rounded up. He got it in 2015.
Oh, okay.
Or around 2015, because he wanted to get it before our road trip. So anyways, fuck Uber Eats, fuck Skip the Dishes, but I still ordered breakfast this morning. Yeah.
You got it from McDick's?
Yeah, I got 2 breakfast burritos.
I've never had the McDick's breakfast burritos.
They're shit, but there's something about it.
I always just get the bacon and egg McMuffin.
Yeah, it's a good one. I just used to... I'm kind of tired of like breakfast, like the McMuffins and shit.
Yeah.
They just don't appeal to me like they used to. And so I just like started getting it, but I still need to have breakfast. So I started just having the breakfast burritos, and you get 2 of them. And it's like $9, and it's like, all right. But they're small, they're shitty, they're really not worth the money. I had a transition, but I fucking forgot it while you were in the bathroom. You know what else?
Time to bathroom break, RTA.
RTA?
Isn't that what you say, like, for speedruns?
I'm just trying to think. I do you mean TAS?
No.
Okay, because that was tool assisted speedrun. RTA. You know what? I don't know. Anyways, you know what is a waste of time on thinking about that?
What?
And also a waste of money?
What?
Doing a showcase at E3. You know what isn't a waste of money?
What?
Doing a showcase around the same time as E3 digitally.
Well, E3's canceled this year. There's nothing. So...
Yeah, but on June 12th,
yep,
around the time E3 would have been anyways, Xbox announced,
Bethesda.
Xbox plus Bethesda 2-hour showcase.
Yep.
So yeah,
I took that off because of the news in the doc, because I was like, that's kind of nothing.
Yeah, it just means that there's going to be stuff.
An announcement.
That's fine. That's all right. I don't have an issue with that.
But yeah, it's been a little while since we did this, so let's catch up on.
You know what else is an announcement of an announcement?
What?
Final Fantasy 16 is in the final stages of development.
Ooh, let's fucking go.
So who knows? Maybe Squeenix does like a little small showcase around E3 times. We'll get some of that.
And speaking of Squeenix, Yuji Naka took Squeenix to court.
Yeah, I read his tweet, but it's like, it was translated.
So yeah. I've read not only his tweet, but a number of different reactions that go into a little bit more depth than his tweet, which is obviously biased to his perspective.
Yeah.
So let's dive deep. So Yuji Naka, in case you don't know, is the grandfather of Sonic the Hedgehog, the franchise. And he also recently, last year, came out with a video game called Balan Wonderworld, published by Square Enix, and developed not by his company, which mostly works as like a pre-pro design company, but instead developed by Arzest. And so, according to him, and this is stuff that's pretty backed up, he was kicked off the team as director by Square Enix about 6 months prior to the release of that video game, which at the time it was released was the lowest rated video game on the PlayStation 5. That space has now been taken by another Square Enix published game, Babylon's Fall. Not looking good for Square.
Yeah.
And so Yuji Naka in his set of tweets said essentially like, you know, he got kicked off the game by Square Enix, and that Square Enix and Arzest were more interested in making money and meeting deadlines than putting out good work in terms of video games.
Damn, sounds like a massive publisher.
Damn, sounds like a company.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That may not necessarily be factual, or at least, like, whatever. Because Yuji Naka is not necessarily in the gold here, because it wasn't just Square Enix who wanted him out. It was Square Enix, it was the company's HR, it was Arzest, and the character designer of Sonic the Hedgehog, who came with him to Balan Wonderworld, Oshima-san, all wanted Yuji Naka off the fucking project. So, like, is this necessarily Square Enix's fault? No. Balan Wonderworld, the finished game, is a mess. It's not a very good video game. But there's no telling whether or not 6 more months of Yuji Naka working on that game would have made it better or even good, right?
Yeah.
You know, it could have just been slightly different. And, like, ultimately, it was a situation where Arzest is a developer that has really only done portable and mobile games.
Yeah, so just like your mom, Hassan has COVID right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just found this tweet. I just came up with this in my head and I gotta say it. Mm-hmm. Hassan is so bored at his house because he's not streaming so that he can recover faster. He's just posting like thirst traps. And honestly, look at those looking pretty good. Body. It's not much, but it's like you can see a bit of cheek back there. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. But
he's got like the perfect Turkish jeans.
Yeah, well, you know, you can't obviously, like, if you're Turkish and Amaranth comes to your house, you know, you
gotta look perfect.
You get that power.
Can't wait till the Hassan announces like, I've only loved one woman my whole life, and it's Amaranth. I had to explain that to someone the other day.
You had to explain it to me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh man,
2 weeks ago.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Yuji Naka is
not necessarily the world's greatest guy. I saw some people post some stuff about him as well, going way back to the 90s and the Sonic days, where, you know, he went to a developer that was not, I think, an American developer that was working on Nights into Dreams for Sega, because Sega had a USA dev under them, and he said he started talking Japanese in front of all of them because he thought none of them could speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And he was like, fire all of them except for an engineer who knows the engine the best so that they can work on the next Sonic, which would become Sonic Adventure. Of course, some of these white people did speak Japanese.
And then the ones who spoke Japanese probably had to keep their job.
Nope. I don't know. I think a lot of them got laid off anyway. But yeah, that's a shitty thing to do. Also, like, a lot of people say some of the flaws with Sonic 06 happening is because he left that project. He left Sega during the development of that project as well. Like, well, he actually chose to split the team into making the Wii game, the Sonic and the Magic Rings, and the 360 PS3 game Sonic 06, which spread the team out really far, and then also he left in between, and he was kind of, again, as the lead, sort of the creative driving force behind it,
Yeah.
In his own tweet, he mentions, like, me staying on the game longer could have been good, because, like, when I made the original Sonic, it was only a month before the game, or it was less than a month before the game shipped, that we changed the way damage works so that Sonic can survive any hit as long as he has at least one ring, which is, like, the core gameplay mechanic of Sonic. One of the core gameplay mechanics of Sonic that makes it different from, say, like a Mario, right? And, like, if I'd stayed with it, some of the best creativity comes at the last second, which I'm sure could be true. Maybe Balan Wonderworld would have been a better game, or maybe it wouldn't, or maybe all of the people, including HR, the developers at Arzest, and the co-creator of Sonic with you, would be fucking annoyed.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, who knows, right? So I think a lot of people are seeing this as, like, Square Enix shitty, Yuji Naka based, and the answer is Yuji Naka shitty, Square Enix also shitty. Like, Square Enix is a big company that is still trying to do NFTs, still keeps trying to put out fucking live service games, despite the fact that 3 of them, we are now at 3 live service Square Enix games that have completely failed.
Which ones?
Marvel's Avengers sold way under expectation, is not making a lot of money. Outriders.
Oh yeah, forgot
that game existed, and you played it.
I did. And honestly, I think there was really cool concepts in that game.
Yeah, but it wanted to be Destiny, and that game sold way under expectation. Yeah. And then now Babylon's Fall, right? Another game sold way under expectation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Square Enix maybe learn that the only successful live service games you've ever made are Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XIV.
They have any hands in God Eater?
God Eater? No. God Eater is Bamka.
Okay. The only successful live service games are massively popular MMOs.
Yep.
Such as World of Warcraft and FF14. And some psychopaths out there. Some psychopaths out there are playing Black Desert Online and Terra.
Yeah, well, Korea exists.
Monster Hunter games.
Yep.
But they're also,
but they predate live service
games. They are
games.
also finite.
Yeah.
Where they don't try and last forever. There's new Monster Hunter games.
Yeah.
And battle royales.
Yeah, like
modern Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends, Fortnite.
Yeah, and like did we say Destiny?
No, because I think Destiny's is a constant failure that can't keep its player base.
But Destiny's successful. Destiny 1 and 2 were both very successful games.
Unfortunately.
So yeah, unless you're Actiblizzard, you can't make it successful live service.
Yeah. If you're not Actiblizzard, Actiblizzard, like, Capcom has one live service game.
And it's Monster Hunter, which is barely a live service game because it's just like the model that grew into live service, and they kept making games like it, and it still doesn't feel exactly the same as like a modern live service.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World felt closer to a live service game because it actually had like timed events. That you could only play at certain like aspects, and there was like new content that was coming out. Where Rise is like new content comes out, but it's practically a patch. You just download the quest into the game and you have it forever. Where fucking World would be like, hey, did you like that quest where you had to go... Did you like the quest to go try and get fucking Dante's shit? Well, guess what? The quest isn't here right now. Fuck you.
Did you like fighting Nemesis? No? Okay, well, you don't have to anymore. Didn't they do a Nemesis one for RE3 remake?
No, you don't fight Nemesis. You fight Valhazak, which is like a decaying Elder Dragon. And by doing that, you unlock... stuff to turn your characters into Leon and Claire.
But I thought there was a RE3 one as well.
Maybe an Icebreak, but it was still also a Valhazak.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you could turn your fucking handler into Nemesis.
Oh, that's what
you could craft an outfit for the handler to have that turned her into Nemesis, and people went back and played them like the cutscenes with that on, and it's like Nemesis doing these like cutesy anime girl poses.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But live service just...
And then in Rise, you get the two twins, right? Who walk in and go, "Ada, ada."
Yeah, you get the two twins that are actually like important to the story.
Yeah. You remember I told you when Yoko Taro just did a series of tweets of like, if I made Monster Hunter Rise, this is what would fucking happen.
Yeah.
You'd have to sacrifice one of the twins. The vocals leave when you're in the main city.
Yeah.
Because that's just like how Yoko Taro lives in his brain.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hope Sunbreak has a lot more content, because I feel like I think it might just because I'm like good at Monster Hunter now, so I can like blaze through this shit. But yeah. Rise felt shorter than World,
even though it has more.
And it has more, yeah. And it just and also it has more monsters, it has more skeletons, but it felt like there was less variety. I felt like I was fighting the same sort of monster a lot, and then in Rise, the late game monsters that you fight are all the late game monsters you would fight in World and Gen Ultimate and like all the other games.
You got to admit that there's something nice about a game feeling short nowadays.
Yeah. I saw this bad take that pissed me off last night. There's this person just like pretty much saying that like all video games are bad because game developers are like more content equals more fun or whatever. And it's like it was a very generalized statement that pretty much says the only games I'm familiar with in the modern era is like Call of Duty Warzone and fucking Ubisoft games.
I do think like it is a trend where you're seeing like the hours that it takes to finish or 100% a game are getting more and more on average.
100%ing is fine because that implies the want to play a ton more of the game.
Yeah.
But 100 hours to go through the main story is excessive.
Yeah. Like that's one of the complaints I do have. Like I think Persona 5 Royal for a lot of its tweaks is an improvement over the original. But the fact that they add an extra 20, 30 hours onto the main story.
And also, it's very...
to a game that's already fucking long.
I don't know how the additional semester was in Persona 4 Golden.
It's not a whole semester.
What is it, like 2 weeks or something?
It's like, yeah, it's like maybe it's one new dungeon. And also, the Persona 4 original wasn't 100 hours. It was like 60, 70.
Yeah, where Persona 5 Royal... there's not enough there's no the stuff you do in the post game.
Yeah,
like I played the game perfectly, so like I don't need it, but it's definitely time for you to like catch up on other stuff, like on social links you missed. But even like Kasumi and spoilers for Royal Akechi, like actually becoming like adding on 2 more things that take up more of your time.
Yeah.
Didn't really impact my game horribly. Like I still had my social skills very high before like the Shido and shit where you have to figure.
Well, they add more days that you have more free time to Royal as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you still have to like kind of beeline Kawakami as soon as you get her so you can get the special massage and you can do other things at night. Like there's like ways to get around in the game, and it's very attainable. Those extra like 30 days the game gives you are totally unnecessary, and it feels like they know that, so you have to leave that dungeon, like the final guy's dungeon, so many times.
Yeah.
Like they kick you in and out like 5 times, and then they're like, "Now you have."
Usually, most dungeons they do that like twice.
Yeah, like one. Well, at first, if you in the second dungeon, like Yusuke's, you can go through the first time until you get to that thing where you have to like go through the door to get through. Life, yeah. And then you can go through the next section on a different day, and then 2 times,
and then
pretty much.
Yeah. Because there's the first time you get to the door, you have to change something in real life, and then you go the second time you can get through, and then there's another thing that blocks you because you have to like go there, and then you pull Yusuke into the other world.
Yeah.
To do the boss or something like that. I don't remember.
You pull Yusuke into the other world and he discovers the truth of like his master's true intentions.
Yeah.
But like just the addition, you get like 2 full weeks. Actually, I think it's like 21 days. Like it's a lot of free time, and it just ends up being like doing nothing to pass the time or trying to like upgrade your character, because you can do a thing where there's like a jazz club on Thursdays. Or maybe it's like Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, one of the new areas. And you can go there.
They'll have a singer, And with that singer there, you can go and like upgrade. You can upgrade like your teammates' abilities, like give them huge stat bonuses.
Yeah.
But they also made like Mementos a lot more streamlined, and they added in like the whole when you do your ambushes, you get EXP back. It's just too much time. It's not worth it.
Game good, too long.
Yeah. There was days I could skip.
Right, but like even if you're not playing perfectly, which is what that's there for mostly, right?
Yeah.
My point is like Persona 5 didn't need an extra 20 to 30 hours of content in it.
No.
It had more than enough.
Especially since all it did was make like fucking women and gays be like, oh, Akechi's so misunderstood, and it's like he's literally more of a murderer in the second part of in the extended edition. Because okay, here's the thing. Akechi is dead. He does die on the ship in the main game. The only reason why he is alive is because for some
alert.
fucking reason, spoiler alert. For some reason, Joker and the rest of the gang, even with their perception of Akechi being this murderous psychopath at this point,
they still think he is.
He was a friend, and they wanted him to come back.
I think like. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about like Akechi was a child who was manipulated into being a murderer is not a completely out there viewpoint of the character. You know?
Yeah,
I think the problem is Akechi needs to fill like multiple roles in the story because like it's the Phantom Thief, so Akechi has to be like the cop that's hunting the thieves, right?
Yeah,
he's Zenigata, right? To Joker's Lupin.
Oh, that would be actually so sick. Was his persona was Loki, right?
Yeah.
Because it turns out he's tricking them. He's the trickster. It would be so funny if they actually had a reference where, like, you know, Joker's thing is Arsene, but obviously based around
Arsene
the real person.
No, you mean the
fictional fake person, but like from our world.
Yeah.
Like the story from our world.
Novel,
Yeah. If his thing was like his persona's name was like Koichi Zenigata.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, you know, but then he also is revealed to be like the killer who's been doing the killing, which is like sort of a twist, but also like it's also just like them being very convenient in wrapping two different antagonists into one antagonist.
Yeah, and there's also like two people on the Phantom Thieves who like have had close people in their lives killed by him.
Yeah.
Futaba's mother.
Yeah.
And fucking
I thought Futaba's mother died like...
No, she had her thing. Actually, you know what? Her thing was probably not caused by Akechi, but it was similar.
The same.
It was that she went insane.
Yeah.
Because someone fucked with her cognitive reality and caused her to kill herself.
No, yeah, I know, but like the Akechi thing, I don't think it was specifically Akechi because I think he would have been too young to have been the actual one who did it. I think it was still
it was Shido somehow.
It was still Shido, but it was like another person that was working for Shido.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Akechi killed like a couple people. He killed like at least 10.
Well, we know he's killed Haru's dad.
Yep.
The train
guy
conductor
driving the train
at the beginning of the game. The principal.
Right, yeah. But the principal kind of deserved it. And Haru's
yes and no.
Haru's dad kind of deserved it.
No, I wouldn't say that one.
Isn't Haru's dad like a huge piece of shit?
Yeah, but Haru also says, like, through her dialogue, that her dad wasn't always like this. Also implying that maybe there was another change of heart that happened.
Got the double change.
The world, yeah, like they changed him to be ruthless, and then when they changed him to be fine, and then he's like, you know,
they killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
I don't know. I don't like Akechi.
I think if they rewrote that character a little bit more, he could be a lot more redemptive. But also, they seem to just be making him redemptive anyway. So who cares?
If they made it like the psychological shutdowns were just supposed to be like comas and not murdering people, and like maybe he accidentally killed the train guy and he was remorseful of it.
Yeah, or if something. It felt a little bit more like if maybe it's just that we don't see it from his perspective most scenes. Yeah, but like if it was more like he was upset by the fact that he had to do it, but he was doing it for Shido because Shido was his dad and taking advantage of him and doing these other things, and then he had to maintain this facade of like the brilliant detective as well. Yeah, literally, like I caught the pancakes thing the first time I saw it.
I just don't pay attention close enough for that. I saw like a meme in like the Persona Hell group I'm in on Facebook.
Yeah.
Where it was like Adachi kills 2 women and everyone fucking hates him. And Akechi has killed like hundreds and everyone's like, oh my god, my sweet small bean.
Yeah, one of these characters is underage, to be fair.
Yeah. But in Japan, they're actually over the age, it said.
Adachi is also like an adult man doing it for his own means,
and he's also killing teenagers.
Yeah, killing kids. Yeah. Whereas Akechi is a child.
Akechi is the inverse.
Yeah,
but he kills more people.
He does kill more people.
Anyways, all I'm saying is that,
but most of them, very few of those people are named.
What? Like, I don't know. Actually, I never played through all of Persona 4. One woman that he kills is named.
No. Adachi, everyone Adachi kills has a name.
Okay.
And is like a character.
All right, my bad.
Everyone Akechi kills is
just one
unnamed, except for Haru's dad.
Yeah. Anyways, that's enough spoilers. Video games.
If you haven't played Persona 5 by now, dude, it's been 6 years. Get over it.
Max length for a story mode.
Maximum length.
The maximum length, 60 hours.
Yeah.
100%ing side quests, you can add on whatever you want. But the maximum amount of time I should spend on the main through storyline, 60 hours. That is not what I want. I would like a 16 to 24 hour game.
Yeah, like I think it depends on what type of game. If you're talking about a JRPG, yeah, you want 20 hours is kind of your minimum.
If I'm talking an open world, Yakuza, Skyrim, Fallout, GTA, 60 hours would be great.
Yeah, I think like Red Dead Redemption's main story is too long. Or Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 1
is like 30 hour story.
20 to 30. Yeah. Something like that. Decent length. Red Dead Redemption 2's story is like 60 to 80 hours long, and that's like
someone who has not played Red Dead Redemption 2, but I'm going to make an assumption based off of of Nicky Jakey's Rockstar's video games.
A lot of the missions are fairly repetitive,
and no, not the repetitiveness. I feel like there's a lot more sections of like you have to walk behind someone while they talk to get to an objective instead of them just relegating that to a cutscene. Yeah. I'm tired of it. Of video games, I don't want to watch. If the only engagement I'm going to have is holding forward on the stick and turning it left or right every once in a while to hear someone, just let me put the controller down and let me watch a cutscene. Yeah. I can see where they are going.
Or you can do a cool walk and talk where it's like, because if they're doing a thing where they're like, we are presenting a location to you by making you walk through it, and then you can look around to the left and to the right while you're walking, then let me hold a button to match pace and then move the right stick to look around, right? Like hold the LB to match pace. I've seen a couple games use. Right? And then he'll keep walking automatically to continue the cutscene, and I can still look around and be like, "Oh, look, there's like 8 people there."
Assassin's Creed Valhalla has one that sometimes works, but it's not that it is. It's not. It doesn't work in that you actually follow your companion that you're following. It's that if you press square while you're on your horse will automatically follow the road, or if you're in a boat, you'll follow the river.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And as long as you stay on the same path as the NPC, you're like, all right, cool, because they never go off the path and if they do, they hop off their horse and start running.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, okay.
There was one game I did play recently where like you can the game actually like just matches the pace, and it was so good. But Yakuza
video games good.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, Nintendo is union busting and mistreating their own contractors.
Boo.
Fuck you, Nintendo.
Come on.
Be better. That. Don't do it. Oh yeah. Have you ever heard the famous phrase, a rush movie is always bad, but a delayed movie can be bad later?
No, but I've heard the Miyamoto quote that everyone overuses, including us, that a rush game will be bad, but a delayed game will be good eventually or something.
Can be good eventually.
Anyway. Well, actually, I think he says it with more finality, where he's like, it will be good eventually, which we have now known to not be true.
Yeah.
But a delayed game has a higher chance of coming out complete.
Could potentially.
Instead of getting cyberpunked or Halo Infinite. Cyberpunk or Halo Infinite. It's the two games that have fucking pissed me off the most that do that.
Which is funny because they both got heavy delays and they both came out not super good.
Yeah.
But
difference is that Halo has a complete story.
Halo Infinite is a more finished game than Cyberpunk was.
Yeah, but Halo Infinite is only a less finished game because it's missing aspects from previous games that they said were coming back. Yeah. Like in every Halo game, there's been a co-op campaign. Mm-hmm. Not in base in Infinite.
Yeah,
and then also implication is that it's not going to go through the story; that it's going to go through like side missions that you do, like firefights. Only side missions. That was but that was like a thing that like is unconfirmed. Forge mode not in the game. Custom games without Forge mode, they're worthless.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh look, we run fast and we use like one weapon the whole time. It's like, fuck you. I want to play Halo.
Slappers only.
I want to play Halo like the game mode from Halo 3 Halo.
Yeah.
Which is the most fun. I believe, honestly, I'm sure Death Race or Death Run from like Gmod, like those games, I'm sure that has existed longer. But whenever I think of Death Run, I immediately think of Halo from that fucking thing. Because they had something similar in custom games. In that.
Or Oddball. Or Griffball.
Not Griffball, because Griffball's just like... No, like, do you know Death Run?
No. Well, it's just...
Oh, you're talking about other custom games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Griffball. I'm the only one of my friends who likes Griffball.
I don't know what it is. I just know it's a thing from Red vs. Blue that like became a thing in actual Halo.
It was a joke that they created. They just said Griffball, and they didn't explain it ever. But I think the joke is that Sarge would form Griff into a ball and kick it around. That's it. But like, then they made it an actual thing where it's a red team. It's a 4v4 game type. There's a red team and a blue team. You have gravity hammers and swords, and you have low ass health. So it's like tackling in football pretty much, but nonstop. And there's a ball in the center of the field. When one person grabs the ball, they turn orange and they get the normal amount of player health and they run faster than everyone else. So they turn into like a running back in football. And the goal is to get it to their planting site, and as soon as you place it, it explodes. Game's over. Or the round's over and you play until like it's like 1st to 7 or something. And I was always really good at it. I learned like all the techniques and shit. I learned like I could bait everyone out, but everyone's like, it's a game that requires no skill, and I'm like, okay, I will destroy all of you.
But also like you're playing a fucking custom game mode. It doesn't need to require skill. It just has to be fun.
Yeah, and I had fun playing how I did.
Yeah, so
I wasn't sweaty about it though. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I wouldn't be mad if my teammates didn't know the strats.
Things like, I don't know. You don't have to be able to be sweaty at a thing for it to be fun. Like, there's plenty of fun fighting games that are terribly balanced.
So anyway, what was the movie thing about?
Huh?
You said a rush movie is always bad, but delayed can be
Mario
bad later.
Movie got delayed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the quote. Yeah, okay.
Because the guy who created Mario said that quote, and the guy who created Mario delayed the shitty Mario movie starring Christopher Pratt. I am still, on this podcast, I've not seen any leaks of this movie, but my bet is that Chris Pratt is a normal person who gets isekai'd into his NES to become Mario.
There was a leak.
Okay, I have not seen the leak.
I will tell you the leak right now.
Okay.
And it honestly didn't seem that bad.
Yeah.
There were two things that really stood out. There was a bunch more to the... There was like 5... The reason why people are saying the movie was delayed was because of this leak. That Charles Martinet was going to be the narrator of the film.
Okay.
There was some other bullshit that I forgot about the actual story, but the most important part was Mario and Luigi, portrayed by Christopher Pratt and Charles Day.
Yeah.
We're going to be speaking in Brooklyn accents.
Okay, that's fine.
Which is good because we got the Super Mario Brothers movie with the Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. We got the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, also in the Brooklyn accents.
Yeah. What are you going to have?
Not horrible. Best option we could do.
What are you going to have Mario talking in fucking regular English?
Yeah, you fucking...
You big puzzle?
He's paisano.
He's from fucking Brooklyn. You think you're gonna have Mario woohoo talk like a fucking normal ass like, hello, I am from Michigan.
or the one joke that everyone made where it's like Mario will show up on screen for the first trailer and be like, woohoo, and then Chris Pratt will come in and be like, oh, I'm sorry guys.
Yeah. Instead he's gonna be like, hey, I'm fucking Mario over here, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that hurts so much. So when I went to a local sort of Italian pizza place.
Which one?
A one that is so unique that I'm not going to say the name. Happens to be named after a feature film of some kind.
Okay. I know that place. It's near the bars, right?
Yeah. So I went there, and there was a fucking actual ass, like, super Italian gentleman.
Did he work there?
No.
Damn. Hey, why isn't my fucking internet working? I'll call my younger brother.
It was more like, that's the thing, man. These fucking new kids, they're so sensitive.
Of course.
Yeah, it was shitty, but it was funny. It was like he was... I was just listening to him. I was hanging out with Derek and Kyle and Emily.
Yeah.
And like I was just listening to the conversation, not because like he had a point, but because he was just like, I was just like, man, I wish I knew somebody who had a fucking like, hey, oh, come on. You know, because it's such an entertaining accent. Everyone who I know talks with like a kind of not even like a heavy Canadian accent.
Yeah.
Just like pretty like, I don't know. You're from the Northeast.
No one's going to figure out where your voice is from until you say, oh yeah, I grew up around... and then you just say you're from Toronto.
Yeah, around Toronto.
Or you're like, yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Or the Blue Jays. Or the Raptors.
Or when I say, oh, about? What are you talking about?
About.
Yeah, okay, so the about thing it's more about, honestly. Yeah. Every person who I know who has a more thick Canadian accent says about, not about.
Mm-hmm. Also, buddy.
Hey,
buddy. Buddy a lot.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. Or bud. Bud's the, like, current...
Bud's the friendly one.
Hey, no, really? Half the time you hear the word bud, I feel like someone wants to get in a fucking fight. Listen here, bud. I'm gonna fuck you.
That's a lecture. If someone says what's your problem, like, oh, you know what? Didn't we talk about this?
We've done a million Canadian jokes on this show. Oh, fuck you, eh?
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to...
You want to talk about the Thor Love and Thunder teaser?
No. Let's talk about that last.
Okay.
1. Well, 2.
Jojo?
The Masked Singer.
Oh, the Masked Singer.
has done propaganda.
The Masked Singer did some dumb shit.
Did it show? Isn't the Masked Singer one of those shows where like since COVID they do like a fake audience now or something?
Yes. This is really fucking funny. So like the Masked Singer. By the way, the Masked Singer is a really dumb TV show. But essentially, what it is someone will be on the TV show for a couple weeks and they'll do a performance. And then everyone will be like, yo, this person can really sing. And then they take off the mask and...
Whoa, it's not a professional singer. Whoa, it's Ninja.
Whoa, it's... I think in the Japanese one, they had Ryan Reynolds.
That's fun.
Where he took off the thing and it was like Ryan Reynolds. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And I think that's rad. I'm sure he was like promoting Deadpool 2 at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, cool. But this time's gotten a little sussy, because there's like a Jack in the Box guy, and they take the mask off and it's fucking Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
And they like all of these. I think it is Nick Cannon who hosts it, but all the little tidbits at the bottom of the screen that are like, this thing is a little reference to the Four Seasons Total Landscaping. It's so cute. And it's like, this person deliberately tried to undermine our not our democracy, but the democracy in the country that this show is being filmed in.
Ken Jeong and Nick Cannon are on the show.
Yeah, Ken Jeong, Nick Cannon, and then who's the dumb bitch who does all the anti-vax shit?
Nicole Scherzinger?
No.
Robin Thicke? Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy, thank you.
Wahlberg.
She's
married to one of the Wahlbergs, so her name is Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg.
Yeah. Her and like Nick Cannon and Robin Thicke, who is Canadian, unfortunately.
And Nicole Scherzinger.
I don't know who Nicole Scherzinger is. I don't know how she was. Is she a black woman?
Yes. She's Hawaiian.
Okay. So she seemed like kind of awkward on camera. I will give like she was like clapping and cheering along like, oh yeah, but she
was in the Pussycat Dolls.
she seemed a little sussy about it. But Ken Jeong like fucking walked off stage.
King.
Yeah, but like king shit, obviously, compared to Jenny McCarthy, who's like, wow, Rudy Giuliani, I'd love to make out with you, but I'm married to one of the ugly Wahlbergs. Otherwise,
so a Wahlberg.
Boom. Mark's the most attractive Wahlberg.
Yeah,
I don't find him personally very attractive, but I know some people do.
Yeah, you gotta.
But like Donnie Wahlberg, fucking revolting human person to look at.
Okay.
What?
I'm not denying it. I'm just saying, let's go on.
Anyway.
Yeah, Ken Jeong doing the correct response of getting off stage.
And then what's great is the Masked Singer got to put that on their TV show so that they can both have the producers do something awful and then have the star on the show react like how a regular person should react to the horrible thing.
Yeah.
And then they can be like, see, we are aware. We know it's bad. We had the reaction that it was bad on the TV show. But it's like, if you knew it was bad, you wouldn't do it in the first place. So they kind of managed to like have their cake and eat it too, which is horrific. But yeah, anyway, stop making that TV show. It's bad. This isn't the first time they've done something stupid like this, but this is the most it's been. This is the fucking worst it's been.
Yeah.
They also did one where they took the fucking mask off somebody and it was Kermit the Frog underneath, which like...
That's funny.
That is funny, but also like weird because like Kermit the Frog is arguably another mask.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the thing they do with like they do with like Bugs Bunny, where like when you go watch the Space Jam 2 trailer, they don't tell you who voices Bugs Bunny and Donald Duck, but they say Zendaya as Lola Bunny.
Yeah.
It's like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
So no one, they don't tell you whose voice is
Kermit
the Frog.
Well, it's not Jim Henson anymore. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I wonder why. No, there was a good joke on one of the older talk shows where someone said like, "What's the difference between a puppet and a Muppet?" And
Kermit says, "Well, a puppet, so you put the hand in the back and it talks." Whereas a Muppet's just like a living, breathing thing.
No, he says he's like a puppet, like a frog. Is like controlled by someone else behind, like they got their hand inside of it, or they're like using like strings to move around, move its hands around. Well, I'm just a real life talking frog.
Yeah. Although one of the things they do say about the Muppets, which I saw like a great series of clips on Twitter recently, is like when they go on talk shows as the Muppets, people behind the scenes like don't like forget that it's a puppet, because like there's so many stories of like a PA miking Kermit for his voice, and then the guy underneath going, "No, I'm down here." Or like there was a Zoom interview that somebody did with a puppet, a Muppet. It was the Great Gonzo, and he was like, you know, at first we turned it on and like I saw a guy there, and then he crawled under the desk, and the entire time I thought, oh yeah, that's just somebody helping Gonzo fix it with his computer.
Yeah.
Which is very funny, because the Muppets slap and are awesome.
Now for the Jojo
Part 6, the next part's coming out in September. Wouldn't that be about a year after the first part came out? In December, yes.
Sick. At least it's actually fucking coming, and Netflix isn't just like burning it all down. Like
they're fucking over a bunch of animated shows, and I think it's because the
See you later, Inside Out Part 2. Not Inside Out, Inside Job.
Did that get canceled?
No, not yet, but they are apparently axing most of their animation studios.
Like 90%.
Yeah.
I think
like Big Mouth will probably stay, and that's about it.
Big Mouth, Castlevania. Probably almost certainly like the Castlevania and other Adi Shankar series. I believe,
yeah, but I think Castlevania is like farmed out.
Well, it's by I mean, it's still a Netflix original.
No, I know, but I'm saying like I don't think the animation studio.
It's not by the one created by Netflix that they did the mass layoff at, but something like 7 or 8 shows at minimum got canceled. It's all Western animated stuff.
Yeah, they're not moving into animation because animation is just
because honestly, what Netflix has found in the last few years is their anime programs have been fairly successful.
Contract is also normally the shows are already being made.
Yeah,
so you're just contracting.
Yeah,
like. It's not like they're going... I'm sure David Productions probably got, like, a push from Netflix.
Oh, they almost certainly are at a higher budget. You can tell by, like, the fucking...
Yeah, actually, I just think anime is looking better now, though. Like, actually, the fucking episode of One Piece that came out this week...
Yeah.
Or last week when we didn't record, was gorgeous.
Damn.
It's, like, movie quality shit. They're just doing, like... It's like they figured out how to do lighting well in anime. Like, ever since, like, Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer, they're just like, oh, you know what we could actually do to make things look more professional and less, like, boring? Yeah. Is actually figure out lighting.
Lighting effects.
Yeah, because I bet they're doing it in, like, After Effects and some shit.
Yeah, now. I bet you that's the fucking Adobe Creative Cloud up
Yeah, there. I literally bet they're not animating it with the aspect with it. They are making a normal show, and then they figured out how to add shit afterwards.
They're like, hold on. You see this... You see this globular lighting effect that they've added on this new update?
Yeah.
Why don't we just try it? Yeah. I think, in the last 5 years, anime has started looking a lot, even more better.
Especially, like, this whole, like, arc that One Piece is in, like, that started in, like, episode 900, is, like, gorgeous.
Yeah.
And that's like, a long-running show that has abused their budget, for years. Like, there's...
again, though, like...
Yeah.
Every JoJo part is gorgeous, but part 6 is so fucking
Part 6 is more gorgeous because they're like going harder with like doing subtle CG and shit. Yeah,
subtle CG, nice lighting, like more frames of animation.
Perfect colors.
Times.
Yeah.
Really, the colors are gorgeous. And they brought back Kamikaze Doga to do the OP again.
And also like what they like to do, like all JoJo parts are like not really part 1. Part 1's kind of like it's colorful. But it's like normal anime colorful.
Yeah.
But part 2 is like it's a little more bombastic. There's especially that fucking opening that really shows it's like we are in like the era of colors. And then part 3 is just like everyone's wearing like
everything's super bright.
Kakyoin walks around in a fucking bright like in a green
green
Goku
school uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like there's a villain that there is a masculine villain that wears pink and purple. And he kills half the cast.
Facts.
Yeah.
Are we counting half of Polnareff as being one of the...
Polnareff didn't lose. Oh no, I wasn't talking about... I was still saying in part 3. Oh, I understand why you thought I meant Diavolo, but I was talking about...
No. Sorry. Oh, fuck. It is Diavolo that... puts Polnareff in a wheelchair.
I was thinking of Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Who kills Abdul and Actually, Abdul, he doesn't kill Iggy, right?
Iggy gets killed by Pet Shop.
Iggy dies from his injuries that he got from Pet Shop. But Iggy also defeats Pet Shop, which is the important part, and why it's so sad that little shithead dies.
Yeah.
And then, Abdul gets fucking eaten by Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice, yeah.
And then Polnareff fucking... he takes out 2 swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kakyoin gets killed by Dio.
Yeah. Wearing bright yellow. Just like a fucking genie.
Yeah.
They're in Egypt, so then part 4, the guy's wearing like a purple suit.
Yeah.
He's got a green
I think it's so funny that like Kira manages to sell I'm like the most normal guy on the planet is my whole deal.
Yeah.
And he wears a bright pink suit with a skull with a tie with fucking skulls on it.
It has his stand on it.
Yeah.
It's literally fucking Killer Queen is on his tie.
Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid. Yeah, part 5 was really colorful. Fucking main character was a pink suit.
Yeah. I love that they picked pink because, like, he's been colored. That suit also sometimes gets colored as, like, blue.
It's like pink or purple, yeah.
Yeah. But in the anime, they chose to make it pink.
It's pink, and then when they do, like, the Jojo, like, negative colors,
effect,
then it's blue. Yeah.
But in Eyes of Heaven, it's a blue uniform. Obviously, because the manga is black and white.
Yeah. And also, I think it's because...
in some colored parts... Like some of the art Araki put out, it's pink, and some of the art it's blue.
They pick and choose.
They chose the pink as the permanent one though, which is cool.
I think Giorno's the only one who really gets like different colors of his main outfit. Everyone else kind of is stuck in the same thing.
Well, it's because like Jotaro, like it's easy to tell. The thing that's hard to tell the color of is like what shirt he's wearing underneath, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's like a pink.
Yeah,
it's like a dark pink.
Yeah, but like. Joseph is like barely wearing any clothes in part 2.
Yeah, he's wearing
like a crop top and pants.
He's wearing the tightest blue jeans that should not exist at the time because the jeans we were not at that point yet.
Yeah.
He's with like knee length.
And he's wearing a fucking
boots.
crop top.
Are you wearing the Chanel boots? And shit? Yeah, he's wearing a navy, like an army green.
Yeah.
Like crop top.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's different colors depending on who's drawing it, but like it doesn't really matter because it's not noticeable because he's barely like it's a fucking crop top.
Yeah.
Jonathan. I can't even picture Jonathan's outfit right now.
He's so plain.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want part 6 to go through, so I can get part 7, baby.
Yep. So. One of the things that I saw online because of this announcement is like people are like, man, fuck Netflix. Their choice to do these in batches and stuff is like killing the series and killing online discussion. And this is why the weekly release schedule is better. And it's like, I get that there might have been, like the weekly hype cycle in forums and stuff is fun.
Yeah.
But also like, it's not a good criticism of a piece of art to be like, the way it was marketed.
Yeah, I think what I think is weekly.
Yeah,
but okay, part 3 did 24 episodes in a row,
and then took 3 months off.
I think it was 6 months.
It was fewer months than this, but yes.
Yeah. So it's like there is normally a gap between episodes. I think Netflix is dropping all the episodes on one day means that some people have waited like 250 days for the next episodes.
Including me. Like I watched all of part 6 within 3 days, all 12 episodes, because I was like, yo, these slap. And so like literally it's been since like the first week of December to like now September 1st, which is like a 9-month distance, which again, like, part 5 took a couple 1-week breaks, right? But it was 39 episodes released weekly for like the better part of the year.
Over a year it was released
for less than a year. But yeah, like
I mean
over the course of a year.
Over the course of a year.
Yeah. And same with like part 4, right? They took like a couple 1-week breaks, but
I think they took like a 3-week break after they finished Red Hot Chili Pepper.
That might have been it.
Like but they just kind of were like, we're going to take a break to like catch up on like the art going forward.
Yeah. And to be fair, like part 4 and 5 both do suffer from the fact that like in late episodes, you can see they really had to decide what gets them more and the higher quality animation. Like there's a number, especially part 4, there's like a lot of scenes in the last third of episodes where like there's a lot of errors, which were corrected for the Blu-ray, but still like if you're like us, you watched the non-Blu-ray version of part 4. So you saw those. And like, are they terrible? Does it mean the last third of part 4 sucks dick? No. But,
it's not Sailor Moon Crystal.
Yeah. But like, obviously, like there was a trade here. And, if we can see like, part 6 having all this extra time is what's responsible for it being so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And B, means we're not going to see a dip in quality right when the series gets to a climax. It might be worth it, but still what that means is most likely this is going to be the longest season of JoJo over the course of release, because almost certainly September 1st is not going to be the remaining 24 episodes. It's probably going to be the remaining. It's probably going to be
another 13 or 12
or 13,
and then they'll drop another 12. I think they should definitely 6 months if they're going to do these batch releases. 6 months in between at least.
Yeah.
I think the amount of time they have waited is too long. I'm not going to talk about killing the hype machine or anything.
Yeah, because whatever, people are like, well, fucking Disney Plus series, because they're in the hype cycle for the whole time when they're out, and every new episode the hype cycle continues. And it's like, yeah, but what you're talking about is how good a series is at advertising itself. Because a show that's less popular doing the weekly release doesn't mean there's new hype conversations every week. It just means that also, it takes longer for episodes to come out.
Yeah, and it's not like the episodes are coming out in Japan and we're just not getting them.
Yeah, it's not like Carol and Tuesday or Little Witch Academia or Comey, which Netflix really botched by doing that shit, which is annoying, right?
If Netflix has more money than Crunchyroll and Funimation,
yeah,
and Crunchyroll and Funimation were able to do it. Obviously, Crunchyroll did it by abusing their fucking contractors, but they still were able to do it.
Yeah, and Funimation was able to do, or they're not able to do that for a whole season, but for good chunks of popular shows, they will do 1 week behind simuldubs, right?
Yeah.
Which is an extreme undertaking.
Huh? Simuldubs?
Yeah.
So you mean they dub it over?
Yeah, the dubs.
Funimation is going crazy with that shit now.
Yeah.
They have 3. They used to be they would run one.
Yeah.
Every season or whatever. Now they're doing it for everything.
Yeah. I
think 6 shows per season. They're simuldubbing.
Yeah, on Crunchyroll now.
Yeah. They My Dress Up Darling. They were doing it. Other shows that I can't remember.
It's usually
Spy Family. They're doing it as well.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely
usually the most popular stuff.
That is for sure the hottest one of this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually they don't usually they will end up 2 or 3 weeks behind by the end of the show, which is also fine, because I remember that's how I was watching My Hero Academia when I was watching that show.
Yeah, because it has a pretty good dub.
Oh, it's got a fantastic dub.
Yeah. All Might, perfect. Everyone else sucks, but
no,
they're all good.
They're all good. I think Deku and All Might shine the most.
Yeah,
but they're also the 2 main characters of the fucking television show.
I think Bakugo has an inferior English actor.
Yeah,
because that archetype just is really well done in Japanese.
Yeah,
because they have that weird high pitched or raspy shit where they roll their R's, the delinquent.
Yeah, the delinquent character.
They have those really well done, but every single time they bring them into English, they either go with guy who screams all the time or dude whose voice is way too deep for what it actually is they're trying to convey.
I think Bakugo's voice actor does a fairly good job with it, but it's also he's a delinquent character. Bakugo also in Japanese yells a lot. So
yeah,
he's fuck
yeah. He has, I don't know, it's just that's the one character
I feel Johnny Young Bosch could do that character.
Johnny Young Bosch can do any character.
Yeah,
he's a king.
He's king, dude.
He replaced all of Vic Mignogna's roles.
Yeah,
because he's in fucking so Vic Mignogna, famously was the original voice for Broly.
Yeah, and
then he was the voice in Super Broly as well, and he still is in the movie. But when you play Super Broly in fucking the Fighters, it's Johnny Young Bosch. Same with if you go watch
or Matt Mercer and Troy Baker for a little while.
Yeah, but Matt Mercer does just tries to do Troy Baker, so it's fine.
Yeah, he's quite good at it.
Yeah, they have the same kind of voice. They still do. Matt Mercer is the voice of Trafalgar Law in One Piece in the dub, and sometimes I think it's Troy Baker.
He also
but also in One Piece. In One Piece Film Gold, which is the 12th movie, I think, they bring back this character named Sabo, who was voiced by Vic Mignogna as an adult.
Yeah.
But then he only voices Sabo in that movie because they hadn't even gotten to the point where he re-shows back up in the anime. because Sabo, spoilers for One Piece, Sabo was supposed to be dead. And he comes back, but by the time they actually were dubbing it in English, they had already canceled him.
Yeah.
So Johnny Young Bosch shows up.
Yeah.
And then in One Piece Stampede, which is like the most recent movie to come out, Johnny Young Bosch is the voice, and he's just so much better. Johnny Young Bosch might be one of the best voice actors for anime.
Yeah.
Except
for in JoJo season 1.
What?
Wait, he's Jonathan.
Is he Jonathan?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was bad direction, though.
Well, okay. I don't even think the direction's bad, because Patrick Seitz, who directs the JoJo dub, does a phenomenal job 90% of the time. But with part 1, for whatever reason, they decided to do like the British accent thing. And like, don't get me wrong.
They drop in part 2, right?
Well, it's because like most of the characters in part 2 aren't British.
Yeah.
Anymore. But
except actually, well, most of them, I believe Joseph kind of is.
I think, but they don't give him an accent in the dub. I think they
don't. But like, I think but I think the logic is because he's from America. Yeah. Because at the end of part 1, they're going to America, but it's actually like George Joestar II was raised in America and then moved back to England with his kid
and then came
and then he was murdered.
Yeah, and then went back to New York.
Yeah,
but yeah, so the English accent thing is a choice, and I think it works better on Dio than on anybody else.
Yeah,
but that's because Patrick Seitz, the director, also voices Dio.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why he's like, I got a really good British accent.
Yeah,
so
that's why
everyone's got to do them now.
It was a weird choice, but Johnny Young Bosch maybe was not the right voice actor to pick to do a British accent, because the man's a great voice actor, but he doesn't have a great British accent.
Yeah. I just think he does, especially when you give him like a character that's like an older brother type, but still young. Amazing. Like Sabo, Ichigo, other characters he's played.
You forgot the best Johnny Young Bosch.
What?
Nero.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is younger brother, but
Nero's kind of a hothead.
No, not Leron. Rossiu in Gurren Lagann does great as him.
He's great. He's just. But when I think of Johnny Young Bosch, I think
there's
of
like
Nero.
There's like 4 great dub voice actors.
Okay.
And it's like Chris Sabat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, has always done the same voice, but like he's good.
Great at that one voice.
I kind of want to just throw Richard Epcar in there.
Dude, Richard Epcar is so fucking good.
I know, but he's like
he's another one voice. He's another one voice actor who's so good.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch.
Matt Mercer.
I
said 4. That's male actors, because there's great female actors. I just can't think of it. Laura Bailey.
Laura Bailey's great.
Colleen Clinkenbeard.
Sure. Kira Buckland. That's like the newest one. She's not like super new.
Cherami Leigh.
Yeah. Cherami Leigh, also pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say those are my top 4.
The top. Yeah, they're good.
Like also like close runner up for the other side, for the dude side, is like Sonny Strait.
Is he Ryuji? From P5?
No, he is the voice of Usopp. He has done.
I think the entire cast of Persona 5 are some of the greats.
Yeah. He has voiced Lupin in the Funimation dubs of Lupin the Third.
Oh, he's good. Oh, he's really good.
Yeah. He does Usopp in One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
He usually plays like, other than Lupin, he normally plays like sidekicks.
Yeah.
Like the friend.
I think Lupin is so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
Struggling my way through part 5.
Yeah. Have you started part 6 yet?
No, because I want to finish part 5.
I haven't watched part 6 yet.
I understand.
Again, I will give you my high dive sub if you want to A, see the dubbed version, or B, see the show at all.
I'm gonna watch it eventually. I just want to finish 5. Like the cool thing about Lupin though is that if I really start to hate it, I can drop it and go to another thing. But there is actually a fun thing they do in part 5, where after the first 4 episodes, the 5th episode is like a jokey filler episode, where they put Lupin, they take him out of the blue jacket, because 4, 5, and 6 are all blue jacket series, and they put him back in the pink jacket, and it's all like joke stuff.
Because the pink jacket's only from part 3, right?
Yeah.
Right, which is the more funny part that also went the longest.
Yeah. No, I think part 2 is the longest.
Oh, was it?
I think part 2 has like 200 episodes, and part 3 has like 90. I thought
part 3 was the 200 episode. Oh, no, never mind. I could be wrong.
Yeah, part 1 is like
Part 1's super short. Part 1 and 2 might as well be one part. It's just that the difference is because
it has the animation really changes, like, and the
it's just that it's Miyazaki's not on it anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I think part 2 is better than part 1.
Really?
Part 2 is like where Lupin like really comes into its own. Where part 1 is very like
I like part Lupin 1 because part 1 feels kind of like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
That's what it's supposed to feel like. It's very classic Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
it's very like or fucking Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah,
where like but it's like what if you're or because Rocky and Bullwinkle had the other guy,
the Nazi guy.
No. Well, is that Snidely Whiplash?
Oh,
which I believe was the Mountie guy's like villain, but like Lupin is fucking Snidely Whiplash, just fucking with Zenigata.
Yeah, like it's like fun. You know what I mean? Like it's fun, super cartoony.
It's fun, classic-y, but it doesn't like Lupin is like a kind of a different character in part 1. He's a lot more like calculated, a lot less foolish. He doesn't like like Fujiko is kind of like. They kind of like reverse him and Fujiko in that one.
They damsel in distress Fujiko
all the time. She's like the one who wants to fuck Lupin, and Lupin's the one who's like, whoa, babe, I'm too busy being international criminal Lupin the Third.
And then when Miyazaki directs like the Castle of Cagliostro, I think he gets a better grip on those characters.
But I think that was also after part 2 had already started.
I think it was after part 1 finished, but I don't know if it was if it was after part 2.
Here's the thing: when I think of Castle of Cagliostro,
I
think of it looking a lot more like part 2 than it ever looked like part 1. Oh, actually, you know what got me to stop watching part 5 last time?
What?
I just remembered. There's an implication that Lupin isn't his real name. And I had to look this up.
Like that he's not
that Arsene Lupin III is a title he gets from competing with someone else and not his actual birthright. But then I googled it. I was googling it and looking up everything, and it's just there's nothing. It's like no, he is truly the grandson of Arsene Lupin III.
He meets him. He hangs out with Arsene.
But like in part 5, they were like. There's a villain who's like Lupin's old, like he was like Lupin's Jigen when they were like he was like a fresh like 18 years old and all that.
Yeah.
But then also like a rival. And he goes like he gave up the name of Lupin the Third or something, and it's like what the fuck are you talking about? Like implying that it was like a competition for the both.
It's so funny, but we never meet Lupin the Second.
Yeah, well, I think it's just kind of like a George Joestar thing.
Yeah,
where he was just a normal man.
Because we meet Arsene sometimes as like an old man.
Yeah, well, not anymore. Yeah, because I think he's definitely dead now.
He's dead now, but we've seen him a couple times.
30 now.
Lupin's at least 30.
Yeah, I don't. That's like the only thing that kind of sucks about Lupin is when they try and delve into Lupin's backstory. It's like no.
I don't care.
It's been told.
You can do like the let's see Arsene, let's see that part, sure, because it's like fairly unexplored.
Yeah.
But like anything of like, because like okay, the woman called Fujiko Mine is basically a prequel. Like
it explains
features
how
all these characters meeting for the first time, which like yes also happens in part 1. Sort of he meets Goemon for the first time.
Yeah, and then there is another. I think in part 2 there is a different backstory for Jigen on how he becomes friends with Lupin.
Yeah.
But the one from Fujiko Mine is so much better.
Yeah.
I read about it. I haven't watched the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fujiko Mine is a fun show. Don't get me wrong. It is very different tonally. It's kind of aiming for more of the original manga, which was like a lot more adult than... Yeah, and a little bit meaner than the show was, because obviously when you hand something to Miyazaki, he's going to make it a little bit more sweet, because he's a mean person, but he doesn't like writing things about mean people.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know,
but he's a very mean man.
Speaking of things that are different, and I fucking forgot the segue I was going to use. Let's talk about Thor.
Okay. Have you seen the teaser?
I did, yes. I was right.
What?
I was right all along.
What were you right about?
That Thor, I think I was talking to Blake, and he was like, no, that's lame. That, like, Thor leaves with the Guardians at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
And then and then I'm like, but then in my brain, looking at the timeline, Thor: Love and Thunder happens before
Guardians 3.
Guardians 3. So Thor
is going to leave the Guardians.
Going to be with the Guardians for I literally said this, 20 minutes of Thor: Love and Thunder, and then he's going to leave them.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be on his own, and it's going to be back to being a Thor thing. And then he's not going to be in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
And they're like, that would be so lame. And I'm like, why? He doesn't fit in. The Guardians are fucking plucky idiots who they have to figure out how to be tactical to win a fight. Thor just comes in and goes haha, you're dead.
They have fun interactions, but I think the best thing for both of these I guess, groups of characters' arc is for them to come together, learn a little bit from each other, and then separate.
Yeah, and the story.
Yeah, right? Thor has to deal with, what's going on with Valkyrie and New Asgard in what was formerly Tonberg, right?
Yeah, and then also he looks like he's
losing
out.
his way at the beginning.
Well, I thought that was a good training montage. I think it's going to be really funny. Yeah. But he looks like that using Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
He becomes the dude who opens the Bifrost for people.
Yeah, because it can access the Bifrost or something.
Yeah, it was some fucking MacGuffin from Endgame.
Yeah,
or Infinity War, and also I hope he literally goes
I like that the idea is he's I'm these hands that were once used for war are going to become used for peace. I think that's going to be fun.
He says love, and then he starts fucking. He hooks up with some alien chick immediately.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the one realm of the 9 realms that we haven't seen yet, which is the realm of the elves, the light elves.
I think I think
that's one of the places that we see in that trailer. That chick that he kisses, I think, might be an elf.
Or you know what I think might happen?
What?
I think that's going to be part of the montage of Chris Pratt just being I fucking hate this guy.
That might be funny.
Is that he's the one who gets to save the girl?
Yeah.
And makes out with her, and Chris Pratt is over there this fucking dude stealing all of my thunder.
That might be it.
Yeah.
But we see Zeus in that trailer, who almost certainly is going to be murdered by Gore the God Butcher,
because he's the villain.
Yeah, I mean, you have to introduce some gods to be butchered.
I also believe that
they took that fucking big monster. They copy that one fucking page from the Jason Aaron run, Gore the God Butcher run, exactly, except that Korg's there for Thor to be I know this big giant boy that was murdered.
Yeah, Korg and Meek are going to be there. And all that.
Well, Meek is in the scene with Valkyrie.
He's wearing a suit.
Yeah. So I think he's staying behind and Korg's coming on the adventure, maybe.
Yeah, she's going to be her personal bodyguard or assistant or something.
Yeah. And then we got to see a bit of Jane Thor.
Yes.
We didn't see any of Gore at all in the teaser.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do, I think I'm also correct about Jane, because it looks like that is not an alternate reality Mjolnir or some shit.
No, it's the real Mjolnir. You can see where it broke.
Yeah. And I think it's literally going to be that she gets called out over there at some point during Thor 3. After she gets called to that area because there's a big explosion that when Hela breaks the hammer, and I think it's just going to be she gets called to come investigate it. Goes I recognize this. She's going to pick up a piece when no one else was able to pick up any of it or something, and it's just going to reform in her hand.
So one of the things that was sort of seen in set photos, ages ago, is all of the pieces of Mjolnir on a little. In a glass case at Tonberg, because if you can tell it's become more of a touristy place in the trailer, when you see a little bit of the New Asgard, so that it's it's there at the little touristy place, and that maybe she'll touch it and it'll refuse altogether into
maybe she's visiting or something. Maybe her and Valkyrie have become friends or some bullshit,
or lovers.
Ooh.
Because after she becomes Thor, Jane becomes the next Valkyrie. I think the cancer thing is there, but maybe they'll be the explanation for the cancer is that she had the Reality Stone in her.
And then, I don't know, her being Thor just healed her or something.
Well, because the story is she keeps becoming Thor, but when she's Thor, she's healthy, but when she goes back to being Jane, becoming Thor takes all the chemo out of her, but leaves the cancer. So it's killing her the more she does it. But she needs to help people.
I honestly think they're just not going to do anything.
I think they're going to do it.
And because they're just going to be
because it's the inherent tragedy of the character.
Yeah,
because her being Disney. Somebody who is Thor's ex-girlfriend is like, and then she becomes the next Thor is not interesting. Her being somebody who becomes Thor because she's somebody who is willing to help people to her own detriment is more interesting.
Yeah, but I also just think that Disney just doesn't take any risks, and they're going to like get rid of any fucking concept of that.
Ragnarok was risky, and so was last week's episode of Moon Knight, and so was
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. The movie comes out in like 2 months.
Anyway, they made a woman Thor. Are you fucking kidding me?
I can't believe they made Thor transgender.
Yeah. So when I wrote it down on the news thing, I put the new teaser for Thor makes the internet feel like 2014 again, because I've literally seen the exact same fucking discourse as when this happened in the comics. Again these last 2 weeks. It's like nothing fucking changes.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing on Mjolnir says whoever picks it up gets the power of Thor if they're worthy. We saw people cheer in the theater for Captain America. Why don't we see people cheer in the theater for this? For Jane to be able to pick it up. It's not a deeply unpopular character. They're not just doing it for SJW things. When Jane became Thor, the comic became Marvel's highest seller at the time, and it was selling over 100,000 copies a fucking month, which is huge for a comic book, especially in 2014.
Yeah.
And it was both a critically and commercially successful run of comics. I don't know why you want to be like, this SJW pandering isn't good. No, like it's a good comic book run that was popular at the time and is still popular. Like. And it's also just it is part of the run of Thor that's the most interesting run of Thor. Like the God Butcher run to the end of Jason Aaron's run on Thor is the best thing like that has happened to that character in the comics.
Yeah.
Anyway, want to talk about our weeks?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or should I?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So as I beat the Kaido Files.
Do you like it?
It is better than Lost Judgment.
Ooh. Pog.
It is only main story. There is not really anything necessary to like there's no like side missions or anything.
Okay.
Which is a bummer, but it's still like it's a 7-hour DLC and I enjoyed all 7 hours of it.
That's great.
I think the two you get the Bruiser style and you get Tank, which is Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And they are both just well fleshed out and they actually serve different purposes. Unlike fucking Yagami's where like the Tiger style and the Snake style eventually boiled that are both single target focused styles and don't really like change the flow of combat very much.
Mm-hmm.
And the Crane style just always sucks.
Yeah.
I think Kaido is a much more interesting character.
Yeah.
Because they go deep into his backstory on this one.
Okay.
And it's like there's and also I don't know what they're gonna do in the next game with him. Because this changes his character completely. Of like not completely, but it like puts
you get a lot more context.
You get a lot more context why he's like so like okay. Spoilers for like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Kaido is just Yagami's out of town.
Yeah.
Doing a job. And it's lasting longer, so Kaido is just running the agency by himself, doing little jobs. He does like a little job with Hoshino, where they like fuck around and like try and catch like a shady detective agency who is trying to like blackmail people.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it in a really fun way that's really reminiscent of like all the stuff you already know, where like they say Hoshino and Saori-san have been together for like 4 years now.
Okay.
And like they confirm. No, they don't just do like the thing where they kind of just like leave it to the side in Lost Judgment. It is straight up confirmed that they are together and that marriage is on the horizon. And
it's pretty bug.
The guy goes to slip him a picture, and he's like, "I bet your little your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance is not going to be too happy seeing this." And Hoshino's acting like, "Holy shit, my life's about to fall apart." And he does a very good job. It literally makes you sit there and go like, "Oh my god,
is he cheating?"
I can't believe Hoshino cheated on Saori-san.
And it's just that like she looks so different when she's dressed up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They did that joke where they were like, where they just said like the woman he's walking out of a love hotel with is his girlfriend, just wearing a blonde wig. And you get to do like a fun like beat 'em up section with Kaito, and you just like, it's like just so good. And then you get a job from this guy to find his. Actually, no, I'm not gonna tell you that part.
Okay.
You go to a bar.
Yeah.
Bartender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The bar you used to go to in the first game that just doesn't really matter in the second one?
Yeah, but it turns out it's where Kaido goes. It's his haunt.
Yeah.
There's the woman there. You know, the one that she's like a friend in there in the first game. She's there, and they tease Kaido about not having like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And it gets revealed that he had like he had like a girlfriend who left him like 14 years ago, and he's never loved anyone since.
Classic Yakuza writer.
Classic setup. I wonder what's gonna happen.
Well, I wonder if she's gonna come back into his life suddenly.
Yeah, but it's like the combat's really good. All the fighting's really fun. That's great. They bring back like a Mr. Shakedown SK. Well, no, like fighting style. He's like Mr. Shakedown. There's two final bosses. One of them is funny.
Yeah.
It's like, but like I legitimately was like, I'm kind of bummed that the other guy isn't the final boss.
Yeah.
But then when I fought the final boss, I'm like, this is just actually entertaining.
Yeah.
Because when you fight the guy in like a spar pretty much, but it's like he's super powered, and the joke is that he doesn't look strong, and then he takes his shirt off and he's ripped.
That's great.
But the final boss, he's like a tool user. Like he has knives and he like throws like poison spray at you and shit, and it wasn't annoying. I
was about to be like, fuck.
No, it's so cool.
It's like when a boss has a gun and
it's so satisfying. Kaido gets to step in as like he's Kiryu. He gets to be so the hero. Kiryu, it's crazy.
That's great.
And it's like I Judgment 3 or whatever, I want Kaido to be like a secondary playable character.
Yeah, because especially in like Lost Judgment, like you get to a point in the story, he just like stops mattering.
Yeah, he like gets stabbed at one point. And he's like, he's gone.
In the hospital for the remaining chunk of the story. Yeah,
and he goes to the hospital a ton during this thing. Like he literally like he jumps off of a roof and land like a 5-story building and lands on a car. Goes to the hospital, wakes up 3 days later. He's like, time to get going.
That's fucking awesome.
He is like a tank of a man. He truly feels like Kiryu.
So not quite Kiryu, because Kiryu would land on the car and be fine.
And would get up and you'd have... No, Kiryu would... Depends on which version of Yakuza it is.
Yeah.
Like later Yakuza, like Yakuza 5, where it's like it's taking a toll on him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to do the Yagami thing of being like, you know, beaten in the chair for 6 hours. And then being like, oh, time to fight this guy wielding a chainsaw at max power.
Yeah.
It's so much better. The story is a lot better and concise. Kaido's thing, because you know how Yagami has like his gadgets and stuff.
Yeah.
Where he's got the sound one, he's got the thing, the signal detector. Kaido's thing is that he smells things nearby.
That's funny.
And he has like a really keen ear.
In Judgment 1, he was the one that flew the drone most of the time. Though,
yeah.
In the story, at least.
And it's called like primal senses and whatever. So it's like primal nose, primal ears. Because he's a fucking gorilla.
Fucking funny, dude.
And you can go... there's also like these little memory points around the city.
Yeah.
Where when you access them, he remembers a moment from Judgment 1 or from the previous game, and that unlocks new moves. And one of them is like has a joke about people calling him a gorilla.
Yeah.
And he thought it was an insult, but it was actually someone saying like, bro, you fight like a gorilla.
That's great.
Like you're unstoppable. And so you can also walk around and you've like, when you hear cats.
Oh.
And you look at them and they give you Matsugane family crests. And that's like after you collect 20 of them, you unlock like a new ability. And I actually, without using a guide, found everything in the city.
Oh.
It all takes place in Kamurocho.
Oh.
So you don't have to ever like open up the map to find out where you're going.
Or more accurately, you don't have to use a taxi.
Yeah. He's got all of his moves are very good. They're like flows together very nice. They're not like Yagami's where it's like you accidentally activate heat moves sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And Tank, going back to the classic, like, oh, there's a bicycle nearby, I'm going to throw it at you.
Yeah.
Is just so fun. It's like the Kaido files are actually what I love in Yakuza games.
Mm-hmm.
It still has like the annoying parts. Like there's one tailing mission in it, I think, that's super fucking long.
Oh, because like usually with the tailing missions, like for Judgment, they're not super long, so I can deal with
also,
them. His
stealth missions are so much more funnier.
Yeah,
because he clearly is not good at stealth.
Because I don't like the stealth missions in Lost Judgment.
No, they suck. But like
they didn't really like in Judgment 1, like they were fine, and in Lost Judgment they're a lot.
They built
worse.
like a lot more mechanics around.
It's more mechanical, but I would rather just not have.
It's more mechanical, but more scripted as well.
Yeah,
where it's like you can throw a coin, but only when you're in the red box, and you can only get to throw one coin. So if you fuck up the timing, you got to reset to a checkpoint.
Yeah,
and also Kaido, infinitely better character at stealth in this way. If you get caught,
you just get in a fight.
You can do a button prompt where it's the same animation of him like holding down that one arm. It's just that you press the button and Kaido will like uppercut the guy and knock them out. But what it does is it makes you lose health. So you can only do it a certain amount of times. You can only fail so many times.
Okay.
But it's still like, wow. And also you can just take like stamina and get your shit back. But his like the way he knocks people out is he taps them in the shoulder, and as they're turning around, he fucking elbows them in the jaw.
That's great.
Then there's another really good one where if there's a guy on the other side of a door, he like knocks on the door, and so when the guy goes to open it, he then fucking kicks the door back closed and like knocks the dude out. It's just like there's so much more fun. It's like they don't consider them like having to make like
Judgment 2, Yagami's just not in it.
Yagami is
you only play as Kaido and Sugiura.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
If you ever play as Sugiura, I want Sugiura to be able to do air combos.
Like Yagami kind of can.
No, but I want it like
with the crane style.
I want a launcher and an air combo. Like I want Devil May Cry.
I think my fucking problem with Yagami is that it's too attached to a real life person.
Yeah.
That they have to make him look cool. They can't put him on PC
famous.
without the dick mod showing up.
Yeah.
Like it's just too attached to one person.
Yeah, he's too famous.
The guy who plays Kiryu is I am Kiryu and that is my character.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's not him physically.
Yeah.
So you can just put in Kiryu and put him in a thong
the later characters or whatever. And like I get why the characters are both like scanned in models to look after their actor and mocapped and all those things. Because yes, obviously like the performances are really good, and I wouldn't be, happy if like Akiyama wasn't as well acted and didn't look like the character, or like Kuze. Kuze is such a perfect fucking.
But Akiyama isn't so closely like done that it's like Akiyama has the face. I don't think the actor has the same hair, and there could be like little details like a scar on his lip, or like just their entire body's not going to be the same. But
the three villains of Yakuza 0 though are the most like it's just them.
I think Kuze is the best done one. I think the other two guys just kind of look a little plain. Like Owano doesn't look that great, and the dude who's like very forgettable throughout the whole game,
who's the final boss?
Yeah, who's the final boss is just like whatever.
Yeah, but Kuze's
he looks
so
like Japanese
good.
Gus Fring.
Kuze's so good. He's like one of the examples of like an actor who does a fantastic job and like it's him, but like he is totally willing to go fucking balls to the wall. Oh,
also, Yagami, criticism I had about Lost Judgment, has too many like very long speeches that he does that feel way too like fake. And I get like Yakuza is a fucking soap opera.
Yeah.
There's like tons of shit that's fake.
Kiryu does a lot of speeches too.
Kiryu does a lot of speeches, but he doesn't do them in like, he does it like when he's trying to level with you.
I'd love to see the show that Judgment is effectively a fucking remake of. Yeah. Because like I want to know, because it's like from 2002. So
but it's like
he's like actually the age of
Yagami,
the character.
Same character. He's so I just think he's not
I think the first game he's a really interesting and fascinating character that I like spending time with. But in the second, he's just like a little bit too Mary Sue. He's
too powerful.
He's like a Fast and Furious character.
Yeah, except Fast and the Furious at least also like You know what? Yeah, no, he's exactly like a Fast and the Furious character because it feels like he put in his fucking rider.
Yeah,
that like even though it's not
fight.
physically him, that he always if he gets his ass kicked for 8 fucking hours, he gets tortured,
wakes up and wins,
and wakes up and gets to fight at full power. Yeah. Where Kiryu, I think it's like in fucking Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Yeah,
when you both get shot and stabbed, and the other guy is at the same level as you, and that's why it's cool. But Yagami is always beaten.
To be fair, that fight
down.
would be too hard. Like, it's in Lost Judgment, it's balanced for you being at full health because it would be way too hard.
Oh yeah, it would be impossible.
Yeah,
but in Yakuza 2, it. And also, pretty much every single time Kiryu fights somebody, Kiryu is always brought down to the same or the villain and Kiryu are always down to the same level.
Usually, at least once in a Yakuza storyline, Kiryu gets the jump or loses or fucks up in a way that's meaningfully a fuck up, right? Like Yagami in Lost Judgment shows up a little bit too late to that apartment.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't really think of a time when Yagami tries to do something and fails.
And then also,
in Lost Judgment, because in Judgment 1, he does fail more.
Yeah, in Judgment 1, he legitimately loses a close friend.
Yeah.
Or, a mentor, character to him. There's actual real stakes and losses for him. But in Judgment 2, it's oh no, this person that was introduced to me in this game who doesn't fucking care much for me died. Oh,
yeah,
it's sad that she's dead.
The story in Lost Judgment has a lot less to do with Yagami. It's a more traditional detective fare where it's he's not important to the crime. He is simply solving it. And I guess he meets that woman and maybe has her as a potential love interest, but then she dies.
Yagami's connection to the story is the same as the baseball guy in Yakuza 5.
Yeah.
It's do they need to be here at all? Honestly, no. It doesn't feel like it. I get that the baseball guy was his whole life was ruined by this fake Yakuza, and that it's all connected with the fucking real with the Tojo clan, but it's so fringe and extra that it's shut up.
Yeah, and I get that well, he's a detective agency and that's how you do it, but if this were a story, if this were a television series
Akiyama,
where he was solving different crimes every week.
1 second. Akiyama is a fucking loan shark money lender.
Yeah.
He does not need to be involved in the story of Yakuza 4 at all. But the way he involves himself is so much more meaningful than, I've been paid to do this job.
Right. And again, if Lost Judgment was a game that was essentially about the side cases, if it was a game where it's Yagami does a bunch of investigations of a bunch of murders, then the thing tying them together, him being hired, would work. But because it's about one sort of string of crimes, I guess, then it just feels like he's really unrelated to the plot, and nothing that happens is a big revelation for him and the people whom he knows and loves.
Yeah, and then also a lot of the villains of Lost Judgment are just so boring to me.
You meet the fucking perpetrator of the crime randomly.
Which guy?
You meet the spoiler alert. You meet the fucking handyman guy completely randomly.
Oh, Kuwana.
Yeah, Kuwana.
Yeah.
You meet.
Oh yeah, because he thinks he's helping you because you're being attacked by those people.
Yeah.
But okay, actually, you know what?
No, he hired the people to attack you.
Okay, yeah, okay, you're at that point. I was just it's presented that it's random, but actually he's trying to get himself involved in the case so he can actively undermine you. Yeah. And Kuwana is a more interesting character than Yagami.
But yeah,
Lost Judgment loses so many points, and the whole game is just a constant up and down, and then
I think Lost Judgment is still, I love the Yakuza franchise, and whether you consider the Judgment games as part of that or a spin-off or whatever.
Well, if Bloodborne's a Dark Souls, Yakuza,
Judgment's definitely Yakuza. But they're still better than most video games that come out.
I would say Judgment for sure. Lost Judgment.
I think it's better than most open world games.
Here's the most damning thing I will say.
Yeah.
Lost Judgment isn't better than GTA 4, but every Yakuza is better than GTA 4.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that would be my position on it.
Yeah,
I thought about saying GTA 5, but I'm like, I don't even believe that one.
Yeah, it's like,
I like GTA 5, but is it better than it?
Lost Judgment has its shit together a lot more.
Yeah,
as like a story being told.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, like
GTA 4 and any of its expansions, just all of it. Great.
Yeah. But
fuck GTA 6. Just give me GTA 4 again with ray tracing.
GTA 4 with RTX, they still managed to fuck it up.
All they had to do was turn RTX on.
Yeah,
and they fuck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think Lost Judgment is like a great game that came out in 2021. Like, I would recommend it to people who liked Judgment.
You should finish it then.
Okay. I'll tell you what, though, there are better games out there. There's better games within the franchise and the sub franchise. Yeah, it's not worse than Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise as far as I'm concerned.
I never played it, so I'll just...
I never beat it.
Never beat Lost Judgment either.
Yeah, but I'm like closer to. I put 60 hours into Lost Judgment. I didn't even get to like chapter 5 of Fist of the North Star. And it's not that the game's bad, it's just that it has really weird choices. You can't grab.
That's horrible.
Yeah, right?
That is awful. I was ranting about One Piece games to Michael, as I always do.
Yeah.
Because they're all bad. Except for Pirate Warriors 3, the only good one.
What about Ultimate World R, or whatever it is?
I literally just bought that. Okay, no, I played that game on my Wii U.
Okay.
And it was on sale for like $8. And I'm like, I know it's like its own story, but I want to see if the combat is better than World Seeker or worse.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next one that's coming out.
What is it?
It's called One Piece Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
And it's looking like it could be turn-based. Or ATB style.
More like based.
Yeah. Turn-based.
You can be turn-based or you can be...
Oh, yeah, but I was pretty much just saying, like, I would love a One Piece game that had Yakuza fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you could say that about literally any franchise.
But like One Piece...
How many times have I said on this podcast the RGG Studios should make a fucking Jojo Part 4 game?
They could, yeah. I just think actually that one wouldn't work as well because a big part of Yakuza games is beating up the fodder.
That's true.
And it's like the problem with JoJo
is it's all boss fights.
It's all boss fights, yeah. So like JoJo as a fighting game works perfectly. Yeah. One Piece as a fighting game lacks a lot because there is so much of the like the Straw Hats mowing through.
Yeah, which is why it potentially lends itself better to a Muso.
Yeah, it's One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 is an amazing Muso that tells the story in a not great but like digestible way.
Yeah,
where One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 expects you to already be a One Piece fan and skips 90% of the story. There was only 6 levels in that game as opposed to the 15. No, I think there's 16 in Pirate Warriors 3. And it tells the entire story. And only cuts out like one character. It tells the entire story up to episode 600.
So what you're saying is it tells everything in such abbreviation that it's like to make it not even digestible to someone who doesn't know the franchise very well?
Pirate Warriors 4?
Yeah.
Yes. Like you would just it immediately drops you in the middle. It's like I was explaining.
Dude, I felt that way about the Naruto game.
That's because the Naruto games are unfortunately like actually in a series where it's like Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 starts at the beginning of Naruto Shippuden.
No, yeah, okay, that's the problem. It starts at the beginning of Shippuden. I didn't realize that.
Okay, yeah, it starts at the beginning of Shippuden.
I was so fucking lost.
But then also, and then the second one doesn't start at the beginning of Shippuden. It starts from where the previous ones took off as well.
I did know that.
So it kept doing that. So you can play through... There's the Naruto...
That's why CyberConnect based, okay?
That's why One Piece needs one so bad.
Yeah.
They would do so well.
The thing that sucks is CyberConnect... That
Not
is an
like a
arena
CyberConnect,
fighter.
But I mean like a game like the Ultimate Ninja Storm games where it's like like I was explaining it to Michael. He does not agree with me, but I don't think he's seeing my perspective on this.
Okay.
Is that you can make a One Piece game like Pirate Warriors 3 and tell the entire story of the first 500 episodes.
Yeah.
And then have the second game tell you up to like the end of the Dressrosa arc. Because that's like 4 arcs. But into one game where it's like, yeah, there was like 12 in the first game, but the arcs in the first game are a lot smaller and there's less characters. Yeah. But then in the second game, you'd have to like focus a lot more on every single person's aspect of the story. And but then he was like, why don't you just have like one game with everything? And I'm like, because then you just fucking get to the point
of the game is
with
too
Pirate
big.
Warriors where it's just like you don't get enough or you have to cut content. I'm saying filming to show everything.
Yeah. Because what he's saying is like, why not do it all in one? And the answer is because like Muso games are already very long, and we are saying that the length of the average Muso could cover the first 500 episodes of One Piece.
And they do. It does in Pirate Warriors 3. I just think if you actually...
Pirate Warriors 4, you think just should have came from the end of 3?
No, I think it should... If it wanted to start somewhere, it should have started in like the Water 7 arc and then played through all the missions to up until the game, like where they had to do the Wano arc, but a game original story because Wano isn't even over in the manga right now. But you could have like 12 good arcs instead of only doing 6 and only doing like the fan favorite ones. And that's not even true because they skip like some important ones. They skip Fishman Island.
I think potentially just like doing, like I said, you could do One Piece really well as like, the problem is there's too many characters. But if there weren't too many characters,
but
I think it would work really well as like a turn-based classic SNES style JRPG.
Well, in the main crew, there's 9 characters at the moment. There's 10 characters now. At the Wano arc, it is at 10 crew members, and at the end of the Wano arc, it's probably going to be 11 or 12. Because there's no fucking way they're not going to take Yamato with them. Who is like Kaido's son. There's a weird gendering thing going on there. Okay. But it's just One Piece, super long. They could, if they started doing like a Ninja Storm sort of thing right now, we could get like 3 games out before One Piece, before you caught up. And that they would tell the story like concisely and they'd be fun. Yeah. And you could do side content. You could do like side content that like covers filler or covers movies. Like, because with every movie there's a 5-episode special that comes out around the same time that explains a part of the movie.
Or just somebody hire Platinum to do one of these.
Yeah, that'd be sick too.
They need a dub.
Platinum needs a dub super bad.
Right now.
Hire Platinum and let them make the game they want to make and just stay away. Just literally be like,
well, no, Platinum? Okay, apparently Platinum wanted to make a multiplayer game. That was like...
Okay.
That was them trying to be like, can Babylon's Fall be the success that Scalebound wasn't? Because Scalebound was also supposed to have a multiplayer element.
Just be like, here you go, Platinum.
Do not put multiplayer in this.
Couch co-op at best.
Yeah.
Like Bayonetta style.
Or a slightly more in-depth of like DMC5.
Yeah. Be like, here you go, Platinum Games. We're serving you up this on a golden platter.
Yeah. Take One Piece or whatever.
Take a One Piece game. You have to reach the Water 7 arc.
Yeah.
In the main story. And it needs to be a single-player, linear level-based game. With great combat. And they're
Make
like,
Bayonetta, but with One Piece.
Yeah.
Make the wonderful 101 Piece.
Yeah. There's actually a really sick line. There's like, I get those TikToks a lot where it's like shitty fucking like house music with like people being like top like amazing things and like movies and shit. Yeah. And since I like look at a lot of One Piece content, I got one that was like top 10 like great moments in One Piece. They were so wrong except for one.
Did I send you all the ones that I thought were so fucking funny of like the guy who's like things in video games that people don't think is real, but is actually real?
Oh, I think I've seen some of those.
Okay. The health potion. This regular potion, usually red or green, that you drink it and your character immediately feels better, can be seen in many video games. Its real world counterpart, placenta milkshake.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of those. Oh yeah, but there's a line when Whitebeard dies.
Yeah.
Where the One Piece is a fictional concept.
Yeah.
No one has ever said. Roger did not say in his final moments
he didn't that refer the One to Piece it that is it real. Was the One Piece.
He says you have to just travel to the end of the Grand Line.
Yeah.
And that's where you can find all my treasure. He left it all in one place. He doesn't say One Piece. But people started calling it the One Piece. And in Whitebeard's final moments in the anime, he's got a hole through his chest where his heart should be. He's got a big hole there. He's like in the manga, half of his face gets burned off.
Okay.
But in the anime, he just loses a bit of his mustache.
Yeah.
And he says, for his final dying breath, is this fucking like Naginta down next to him. He's just standing there and he just screams out, "One Piece is real," and then dies. And it starts like a secondary Great Pirate era. And it's like, as soon as he says One Piece, it cuts to the Fleet Admiral. And he's just like, "Oh, fuck!"
Get ready for One Piece.
It's like, God... One Piece is so long. It's its only issue.
But hold on, Ian. You said that they never called it One Piece, but I distinctly remember One Piece. It's the name of the treasure.
No, I'm saying Roger.
Oh, okay.
Goldie Roger never called it the One Piece. It's that everyone else started calling it the One Piece.
Mm.
Like the government.
Because it's the name of the treasure.
Bro, I bet, like, what if the One Piece was just like an
somebody
M16?
hacked Crunchyroll so that it replaces every One Piece intro with the 4Kids intro.
I'm just literally thinking right now how fucking funny it would be if, like, because the thing is that Oda says the One Piece is a physical treasure.
Yeah,
it is not the friends we made along the way and all that.
That's good.
But then now I'm just thinking,
what are they gonna fucking do with it? They've been looking for.
I think it's going to be one of the ancient weapons that can destroy the universe.
Bro,
or destroy the planet.
Imagine fucking being Monkey D. Luffy and you've been looking for this treasure since 1990.
Okay. They explain. Here's the reason why. You actually can't just sail to it. You have to find the island.
I know.
So that you have to, but to find the island,
but
you have to
been
find
looking
these big
for it
cubes.
since 1990.
1997.
Okay, that's still really fucking long time. How much time has passed in universe? It's like probably like 1 year.
The first season, the first part 1 is only 6 months.
Yeah. So that's what? That's the
first 500 episodes.
The first 500 only 6 months.
Yeah.
Didn't that like air over the course of 10 years?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so what? It's been maybe
the final 120 episodes are over the course of 3 days. Because it's a war.
It's been at max 3 years in the One Piece.
No, because they take the 2-year time skip. It's been like a year, I think, since they've been back.
Okay,
like together.
So it's been maybe 4 years in fiction.
Yeah,
and it's been 25 years in real life.
Yes, yes, it has.
That's so fucked up. At least Jojo decides to have really long skips in between.
Yeah, but Jojo also has like a story that happens over the course of 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then like, and also I think JoJo's friendships make less sense than One Piece friendships, where it's like, how are these people so devoted to Luffy after only knowing him for 6 months? But it's like Zoro has known him for like 6 months, but they've been seeing each other every day for those 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only person
because people in JoJo don't actually stay friends that long.
Yeah, presumably. The only people who might still be friends is like Josuke and Okuyasu.
Yeah, okay, Josuke, like the part 4 homies, probably still homies.
And part 5 homies become subordinates.
Become a gang, a full gang, so yeah.
Yeah.
But part... I don't want to spoil.
Part 6.
I'm not going to spoil part 6.
Part 7, nope. No homies there.
They're not homies after part 7.
No, they go their separate ways.
We do, yeah, that's canon. I mean, Joseph doesn't stay homies with anybody, probably because most of them die.
And Smokey becomes the president.
Smokey becomes the mayor of New York. So maybe they stayed friends. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Smokey probably got assassinated. That's why he's not in part 3. Yeah. It's dark, I know, but it's funny.
Yeah, and if you're a Zappelli, you can't. You don't make it out of your part. Of part 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, Jonathan dies at the end of part 1. But, I mean, the Speedwagon initiative, I guess, is throughout part 1 through 6. They exist.
Yeah.
Speedwagon exists in the background of all of the parts. Yeah, but I mean, Polnareff literally says he has not seen any of them since part 3 in part 5.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, Joseph and Jotaro stay friends because they're family.
Yeah. Well, and Jotaro becomes like the executor of his fucking estate.
Yeah.
And then starts working for the Speedwagon Foundation for like the purpose of like finding the stand arrows
users and things like that.
And becomes like a marine biologist as like a cover, pretty much.
Dude, in part 4, Jotaro is like so young still.
He's 21, I think.
No, okay, because he's 17 in part 3.
Yeah, and part 4 is like 4 years
1999.
later. Oh, it's 2001. You're right. He's 19.
Yeah, no. So part 3 is 88, right? Or it's 88, 89. So it's about 10 years later, but he's still very young. He's 27. And like,
yeah, he has a daughter that he's abandoning.
In between, he has a daughter.
Yeah, he's just like not caring about her.
Yeah. In part 6, he's really old, I guess, then. So in 1999, he was 27. That means... Oh, actually, no. He's not even 40 in part 6.
Yeah.
Part 6 is 2011. Which is so funny, because it was written as the future. And then now it's over a decade ago.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So what dumbass, stupid, pretentious bullshit did you do this week?
Well... I played the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Wow.
And, I love the original Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, in case you don't know, is effectively a very in-depth remake of the original, with also a lot of additional, content. And it's still, 9 years later, one of the funniest games ever made. So, Stanley Parable, in case you don't know it, is a game that is essentially a parody of games in which you make choices, and it does that by having the narrator tell you which choice Stanley makes in a narrative about free will, and then asks you to question or go against the narrator in multiple ways, and like makes you go like, if something is predetermined, did you have any choice at all? But it doesn't really get that philosophical necessarily, because it's mostly about having goofy, funny times. Ultra Deluxe, at first, so like you boot it open and it does fuck with you by asking you to put what actual time it is at the time, and like pick some random things, which is odd. Because the game explicitly doesn't know what time it is, you like doesn't look for it. Yeah. So that's like funny. And then like drops you into like the Stanley Parable itself. And it asks you if you played the game before, but that just means like that just makes it if you say you haven't played the original,
yeah,
it makes it take longer before the new content starts showing up. Because a lot of the new content is itself a commentary on itself. And so like eventually in the game a new content door shows up and you go through it. Yeah. And it's weird and it's funny and it's very meta. And like part of me wants to Ian, do you think you'll play the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable?
No. Okay. The only time I played the normal version was here, and then I got the fucking the super asshole ending of just not listening immediately.
The first ending you got was like the fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the I'm not listening to this dickhead.
Yeah. But so all those endings still exist, but then the new content or actually they changed which games are in the game's ending.
Yeah.
So I think I showed you the game's ending where he's like, well, if you hate my game so much, why don't we play someone else's? And so in the original, you play Minecraft and Portal. Like you like load into the worlds of those games for a little bit.
Yeah.
In this version, they did change it, and instead you go to Firewatch and Rocket League. So in the Rocket League one is very unique because the game has you walk around the course of one of the stages in Rocket League.
You walk around it?
Yeah. Like just like how the Minecraft one you can't actually interact with it. You still are like the game's still functionally the same. So you're like walking around this giant stadium, which is very funny. Narrator's like, oh well, if one ball's fun, why not have two? And then like, well, why not have like a million of them? Which is very funny. But when you get to the actual new content, it's like, man, so the bit is the game is like, here's all the new content. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is now out after blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And then like it's like all the new content, and you like walk in a room and there's a circle where you can actually jump instead of not being able to jump in the rest of the game. And it's like, whoa. And then you like go to another elevator and then it's like, okay, the narrator's like, okay, well, the actual new content must be here somewhere that they've added, right? And then it's like just a room that says, thanks for enjoying the new content. And he's like, what? That's it? These fuckers? They right? The narrator's pissed off.
Yeah.
And then you go to like a house the narrator made that's like all of merchandise of the original Stanley Parable and like of how good it was and like, remember it? Do you remember how good it was before they ruined it with this new stuff? It's very funny. And then he's like looks at like he shows up like actual reviews from like from like actual publications from 2013. There's like a model of the BAFTA they won. Like it's really funny. And then he looks at like Steam reviews. It's just like it's such a good bit. And then like you can see more new content. And he's and I don't. Okay, spoiler alert for Ultra Deluxe. If you're like, oh, I didn't want to know the remembering element that you've spoiled, Nathan, you definitely don't want to hear this because it is maybe one of the most cool and fun and hypest surprises in the new game. So
what? I'm listening.
I know. I'm just laughing.
Looking at pictures of Biken's titties as well.
Okay. I'm just laughing because it's a funny joke.
Okay.
So the narrator's like, this fucking HD version is a stupid idea. What we really need to do, what's way better, is we do a sequel. So you go to a E3 that is essentially just a conference for the Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
With demonstrations of all the new mechanics that are going to be in the Stanley Parable 2. Such as a button that tells the player's name. And like an infinite hole in the ground, and collectibles that don't have any reward.
Oh, my favorite.
And the narrator does a good bit where it's like, every game has collectibles. You pick up all these things and then it rewards you for them. But that's stupid. The reward for seeing the thing complete is seeing the number at the top being the same as the number on the bottom.
Yeah.
You don't need some bullshit. You know, it's a really fun bit that you go to a big demonstration of like the game, and then permanently from then on you are playing the Stanley Parable 2. And the main menu and the pause menu change to reflect that. And obviously there are further secrets. You know, there's a bucket that you hold that makes you feel comfortable when the game makes you feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
So you can hold the bucket.
Yeah.
But essentially what that is that now you can kind of go through the same paths to the original endings while holding the bucket, and the ending will be different.
It's the fucking gnome shit from Half-Life.
Except more so. It's like more in depth because like there's just like a weird infinity of like strange shit. And I haven't seen all the new content because there is an epilogue that I have not seen. Once you get all the collectibles, because there's not actually no reward for the reward is that you get like the collectible ending.
Yeah.
And then a finale. But yeah, in ways, like obviously it does seem like there are parts of this game that are kind of cynical about its own existence and about like the games industry, more so than the original game was even that cynical, which I think is interesting especially because like obviously the developers became famous from this video game. But you know, that's part of the fun. Part of the fun. I would highly recommend it. It's also like only $30 like on console, and if you own the original on Steam, it's like $20 on Steam for the first week it's out. Like it's a full third cheaper. So like, you know, it's a good value, and it is like, even though it doesn't seem like it because everything seems the same, it's actually a full remake of the game on the Unity engine instead of being on the Source engine. Which means actually one of the endings from the original isn't there because you can't go into the dev code the same way, like because you can't bring up cheats on Unity games the same way that you could on Source.
Well, it's not cheating, it's bringing up the command console.
So if you tried to cheat in original game, you would get an ending that takes you to the serious room. Yeah. About how cheating's wrong, which is funny. So that ending's gone in this version of the game, I'm afraid. But other than that, actually they added a new glitch ending, because there was a joke ending in the game where they intentionally designed it so you can get out of one of the windows if you like crouch on top of a desk. Yeah. But in actuality, you like land outside, and the game acknowledges that you've done it, that you've gone out of bounds, which is very funny. Yeah. But there was a place in the original game where you could get out of bounds that they didn't intend. That is now its own ending in this version. And again, it has a regular version and a bucket version.
That's silly.
It's very silly. It's funny. It's a great game. I would highly recommend it, even though I've spoiled like half the content in it. I still think it's, obviously I'm not as funny as the narrator, and I'm intentionally withholding certain things from you. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything else for this week? Do you want to hop into Moon Knight?
I don't know. I've just got something short. So like, I don't know how they've done it, but Apex Legends has like successfully like wormed their way just into like my heart. Aw, I love that game.
That's great.
It's so good. Like, I think Fortnite went like really late to start their lore shit, and then their lore is just like, it's a multiverse, it's a meta, everyone's here. But like Apex Legends has legitimately just been like, here is like characters that are most of the characters in Apex are like could just have their own fucking video game. Yeah. Like they have like these amazing backstories, or like these like these like really heartfelt ones, like fucking Mirage, the guy who Roger Craig Smith voices. Yeah. Like, you know, sounds like Sonic the Hedgehog. He's like this cocky dickhead whose whole thing is holograms. But then it turns out that the reason why he's into Apex games is because his mom is dying of like some uncurable disease and her brain's like slowly decaying away. And he's trying to win the Apex game so he can have money to like save her.
Oh yeah, I saw that. There was like the phone call.
Yeah, where she like doesn't remember him and shit. Yeah. Then there's like Horizon, who is like trying to fucking get funds to create a time machine so she can go see her son one last time. Fuck, then who else? Bangalore just got what she wanted back. What she joined the Apex games was to find her brother. And then they did a whole event where they said her brother is just straight up dead. And then this week they put out a trailer for the new character coming out, fucking Castle or something. Mm-hmm. And he has like his face covered the whole time. And at the beginning of the trailer, he like walks past Bangalore and says something, and she goes like, "Wait, 1 second, what?" At the end of the trailer, she rips off his helmet, and it's her fucking older brother. Aww. And he's alive again. And then there's like Loba, who is she is like the daughter. She is she was the daughter of like this dude who was a member of the Syndicate, who was like one of the villains of the series. Titanfall, I think they're involved in Titanfall 2. Her father is killed by Revenant, who is a simulacrum who it like doesn't understand that he is like a robot, and it's like driving him insane. Like, so he's just a murderer. And she wants to get like revenge on him, but she's like, I will kill you as soon as the game's over. And Revenant also has like this weird connection to her where he's like, no one gets to kill her except for me. And it's just like, and then she's gay. She's got a girlfriend. She's dating Viper's daughter.
She has a girlfriend. It's too bad her dad is a fucking fascist and she loves him.
Yeah. Valkyrie, related to Viper from Titanfall, wears his helmet and shit. Bangalore used to date Loba, fucking lost the hottest bitch in the games. Just like game's so cool, the lore's cool. It's the number one fucking like shooter in my opinion.
Yeah,
like it's so good.
Hard to think of any other multiplayer shooter that's as good, except for Overwatch 2.
Oh man, Overwatch 2.
The only fun thing I saw about Overwatch 2 is that Solan happened to get into a game against XQC and killed him.
Damn, I think I'm gonna play when the update is out for everyone else.
Yeah,
because it's just a beta for influencers right now.
Yeah,
which is probably how Solan got in a fucking game with XQC. Like,
yeah,
But I think
one of the new maps, I didn't realize it's in Toronto.
It's Union. It's Union Station.
Yeah, it's New Queen Street is the name of it.
Yeah, and but Kay's Convenience is there, and it's a reference to Kim's Convenience, which I fucking drove past the other day.
Yeah.
And I made a joke, and I'm like, oh, it's Kim's Convenience, like the show, not knowing it's the actual store from the show.
Yeah, that's actually the store from the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there, and you can see the Toronto City Hall.
Mm-hmm. New City Hall, right?
Well, I mean, it's not that new.
No, but there's old City Hall also exists in Toronto.
Yeah. But the new City Hall, yeah, it's
I'm gonna play the game because I think honestly, the thing I really hated about the game was the tank meta, and that's what they changed. I think it's so fucking stupid that they went this long, like delaying it. They should have put this.
I think this release is still a get the negative
press away. I think it's so embarrassing though that they literally they've put Overwatch on a back burner for 2 fucking years now to literally push out a game that the only changes is that they changed
it's 5v5 instead of 6v6.
5v5 limit to 1 tank only per team.
Yep.
All tanks have been adjusted to either be tankier but do less damage, and then they added in 1 new character.
That's and 3 new maps is it?
Maybe. I think there's a new game mode as well.
Yeah.
But it still felt like you could have drip fed this out to us.
This could have just been maybe if they really wanted to fucking drain some wallets. This could have been a map pack. This could have been a handful of free updates in a map pack, a paid map pack.
I think it could have been a handful of free updates and then put the story mode as a fucking DLC instead of calling it Overwatch 2.
Yeah,
because Fortnite tried to do that for a minute.
They've done it. We're on Fortnite Chapter 3.
Yeah, but they when they first advertised it, they were just calling it Fortnite 2. But then putting the chapter allowed them to do a story thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Fortnite Chapter 2 was announced after Overwatch 2.
It was.
Yeah.
And Fortnite Chapter 3 has been ongoing for some time.
Mm-hmm. It's just they should have immediately put out the updates as they were coming out.
They shouldn't have fucking... Okay. Factually, Overwatch 2 just should have been a second video game.
Why?
Because if the changes you're making constitute a 2, then you should have made it a new video game
instead of a sequel.
Because, like, it's had multiple years of development.
Yeah.
Why is it not a distinct video game that is a sequel that you can buy separately?
Because I feel like
because when they announced Overwatch 2, it's because there was still a solid player base.
To make for it to be a distinct own game, one, you're going to split the player base, which is not good for multiplayer shooters. That's why Warzone it extends across all of the games. Right,
but they're going to do, like, at some point, like, it makes sense to have a distinct second release. Like, the thing with Overwatch...
You're thinking from a perspective of a single player game, where it just makes more sense to do it like this, to actually do it, because the most important thing they have is the player base, and to split the player base with like a whole new thing, but barely changing the game. Because the game's not other than taking away one character, and like they've reworked some characters, it's not changing.
I think the reason why I say this is, like, it seems like a very small change and not enough to be a 2. So if you're going, I think, like, if you're going to call it a fucking Overwatch 2, it should be a distinct video game, because the expectation is that there is going to be new content, significant amount of new content, and on top of that, the Overwatch 1 version of the game can be on Overwatch 1.
Also, or let's just do it this way. Don't call it Overwatch 2 at all.
Because what if someone, like, once Overwatch 2 is out, what if someone wants to play fucking 6v6?
Then they'll probably do, like, a special game mode where you can still play 6v6 or something.
Maybe, or maybe it'll just be gone, right?
Yeah.
You know, why I prefer the distinct version approach is if you're somebody who's like, I don't like the changes for Guilty Gear Strive, you can play Rev 2. Or Exard Rev 2.
But the Guilty Gear Strive has a lot more changes than Overwatch does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It should have more changes, or be like more distinctly different visually.
I think they should have done is just made it all like Overwatch 2 shouldn't exist. They should have made a separate game for the single player content, like Rainbow Six Quarantine it and all that.
Maybe.
And then just
wait, is Quarantine just the single player content?
Yes.
But is it like the same game as Siege?
It's a co-op game.
Well, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's not asymmetrical multiplayer. It's like you go into the world, you can play as like.
Is it still called? What is it actually called? Because it's not called Quarantine anymore. I can't remember because they changed the name.
I just remember
Extraction?
I think so, yeah. I just know that game's going to be a massive
I think it'd be
failure.
almost certainly.
Yeah.
I think it'd be funny if it was like actually you shooting people who aren't like zombies. They're just like
sickly.
Wearing masks. They're just like sickly. Like they're like coughing and shit. Like they don't put up any threat and you fucking
and
gunning
then you get
them.
like, and then as the game advances,
and you're gunning them down like a Florida police officer.
As the game advances, you can't tell if they're like sick or not because but you can now get a scanner that tells you if they have the antibodies inside of them, aka if they've been vaccinated or not. All right, you want to talk about Moon Knight?
Let's talk about Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So, we like to do our weekly sum ups of Moon Knight.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about it the 5th weekend. I think reviewers... spoilers, by the way, we're just spoiling this.
Yep.
I think reviewers are fucking stupid.
In what way?
Because they got up to episode 4, right?
Yeah.
Like for like their I'm a reviewer, I'm special, I'm better than you.
Sure.
I get it that it ends on
a big twist.
The hippo.
Yeah.
And maybe if you had knowledge about Egypt and their gods, that you'd be like, oh, they're dead. Mm-hmm. But the implication is already there in the episode, and it's asking, and that's the one question. Okay, the questions Moon Knight is asking is, who is Stephen Grant? Who is Mark?
Yeah.
What's like Khonshu's end goal? But that's like not that important. Well, his end goal, in the manipulated way, is he wants to stop he wants to stop bad guys.
Yeah.
And then you get to the final. What's the dude's powers? Like, what's his thing? The scales. And then the final question, what the fuck is that hippopotamus doing here? That's the first 4 episodes.
And, like, how much of this is real?
Yeah, that's also a question that gets brought up in the fourth episode.
In the fourth and fifth episodes, yeah.
Yeah, but the kind of since he is like dead at the moment, it's kind of like okay, well, Stephen Grant, it's been answered. It was a person that he created as a child because his mother was abusing him.
Yes, like he has DID because of repeated childhood physical abuse.
Yeah, and then so that's
thankfully
Stephen Grant and Mark questioned. That's 2 questions done.
Yeah.
What was the third one I said?
What's
Khonshu's end goal? It just says he wants to protect the people of the night or something.
But he's still like taking advantage of Mark and being a bit of a sussy baka.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
so we don't know, and that question probably won't get answered.
And we also don't really know what like Amit and the bad guy's goal. We just know that Amit skips the scales or something because the concept of the hippopotamus woman whose names I can't remember right now. Towaret. Yeah.
Her Tourette is the
goddess of motherhood and like
and
child rearing.
And she weighs your heart with
it's Anubis it's like the Anubis scales, but yeah.
She weighs but she was the one who met up with them.
Yeah.
And she weighs your heart, and if it's good and if it's balanced, that means you lived a balanced life and you get to go to fucking
if it's equal or lighter than a feather. If it's heavier than the feather, then it
so you get to go to heaven, where but then from the from what's the villain? What's the god name?
Amit.
Amit's thing is that they want to bring the scales to create a heavenly plane on Earth.
Yeah.
By using the scales on Earth and killing people before they even get the chance to live out the rest of their lives. Pretty much, if you're inherently a good person, you get to live. If you're a bad person, you die.
Yeah, and it says that it prejudges you for even for things you will do.
Yeah,
but that questions whether or not people have free will.
Yeah, but which they do.
Yeah,
and then
now they do.
Yeah,
when He Who Remains is still there, they didn't.
Yes, I guess. Well, they have free will, but it always has to follow a path of a destiny that's preordained by someone else. But it's a dumbass question. And then final question, which I already forgot because it's hard for me to keep things in my brain.
That's okay. No, I think that was all of it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But now we know.
We know most of these things.
We know most of these things already.
As of episode 5.
Now we just need to know is how much of the psych ward.
Yeah, two things is our main questions now are: is there a third altar because of that, the one that stabbed that guy, that it was neither Mark nor Steven in episode 3, and then that the sarcophagus that was shaking that they didn't open in psych ward in episode 4.
Yeah.
And potentially which one of them was the one with the tried to kill himself in the office, because was that Mark or was that the third one as well? Jake Lockley is that character's name in the comics, but who knows whether or not that character is even going to exist in this.
Yeah.
But is there a third altar is a main question that we have that I'm sure will be answered in the next episode. Because
there was also one thing where they're like, did you do that? And they're like, no.
Yeah, that's what it was, stabbing the guy in episode 3. So that's the main one. So that's a big question that will probably be answered in the next episode. How much of this is real? I think the series, it might end on a little thing that leaves us doubting somewhat, because this is very unconnected to any other Marvel stuff for the most part.
Yeah. I think the Egypt stuff that is happening, before he got shot, real.
So this is why I'm saying there's a question, because
I think they're trying to set it up that there is a question, but I think with the way the show is, and it's the Egypt stuff is real. Him picturing a psychiatrist as his doctor when he clearly has mental issues is him just putting a face to what he considers a villain.
Right, but I don't know. I think it would be interesting because we keep cutting from him exploring the underworld, doing fantastical shit with the hippo lady, to him sitting again in a more realistic version of the same psych ward.
Yeah, the psych ward that they first woke up in after being shot. But then there was also 2 versions of him running around in that psych ward.
But that's after the switch to fantasy.
Yeah, there's multiple realms of the psych ward.
Yeah, so I think... I don't know. I think they will maybe end the series off with like, you know, there still being the ability for there to be doubt that any of it happened. Just because that like psych ward set when he's like in the little hospital in the wheelchair has like all those little details, like the cart, like the physical push cart with the cupcakes being the cupcake van, and the, you know, like the all the cool little details, all the other characters being there. A lot of the side characters are just chilling in that psych ward as well.
Yeah.
And we don't go back to that room in the version of the psych ward that has the hippo in it. But so yeah, is there the third altar? How much of it is in fact real?
The movie's gonna the series is gonna end with, in the first fantasy realm, they think there is a big man coming to take his virginity, and then but on the real realm world, it's actually that they're coming to get a lobotomy, and John Hamm's the doctor.
What is that a reference to?
Sucker Punch.
Oh.
Because it's okay. For people who don't know the plot of the movie Sucker Punch, it's that she kills her like fucking mother or something.
I thought it was her dad.
Her
raped
stepfather kills her mother, raped her younger sister, and then says that she did it or whatever, or she killed the mother, and sends her to an insane asylum. But then while she's in the insane asylum, she starts having delusions of not grandeur, because that's horrible. Delusions that because the people who work there, like the male nurses, are raping the female patients, that she thinks it's a brothel, and the nurses are actually clients. And then they seduce, like,
and it becomes like a weird anime thing.
It becomes like a weird anime thing where when they dance, they become like fucking magical girls with like
swords,
with like swords and machine guns and shit. And then the end is they think that like because she's like baby doll's like a virgin who has been untouched, that they're saving her for this big boss or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that they're like trying to escape there
before he gets there.
Before he gets there at the end of the month, and then he gets there, and she's like tied down to a chair, and then it pans back into the reality where John Hamm is the big man, and he lobotomizes her. And then it like the movie just ends with like one of the girls who escaped, who I think was played by Vanessa Hudgens, reveals to like the press that the truth is of the world is that the doctors and nurses there were raping the girls, and it was sort of like a brothel where they were allowing people from the outside to come in and have sex with like the teenagers there.
Oh.
And that there was like a dance instructor there who was like trying to help the girls like get through shit or whatever.
And that's who like the good guy was.
That was like she was a woman, but like somehow she just like ignored all of it, so that makes her the good guy, and it's a bad fucking movie.
Yeah. It's so dark for a movie that's so like goofy.
Yeah. And
it's actually the best movie ever made.
Yeah, it's actually
brilliant.
It's actually the best movie ever made, but only second to Morbius. Morbius Sweep 2021.
Bro, dude. Morbius, only movie that came out in 2022.
Yeah. Morbius lost to fucking Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The real superhero movie.
But where was I? Fuck. Moon Knight. Okay. I'm back.
We're back on Moon Knight.
Back on Moon Knight. Moon Knight, good. I enjoyed the television show. I think episode 5 was probably the most out there thing Marvel has done in terms of like content, because it featured child abuse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's what you meant.
And like also a pretty accurate and sensitive portrayal of dissociative identity disorder.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have it, so I can't really say.
I do have it. I'm Dr. Stephen Grant. I don't actually have DID. That was a joke. And I'm sorry if you have DID and you watch this and you think that was rude and not
Jason.
Nice.
Don't say that.
All right. But yeah, I think it's I liked it. It was another, obviously, like much like the same second to last episode of WandaVision was people walking through their own memories.
Yeah, and then I guess also Steven dying in the sands also just means that, like, he's come to terms with the fact that, like, his mother was a piece of shit and he got his brother killed.
Doesn't need Steven anymore, maybe?
Because he's, like, confronting his issues?
Potentially. I think Steven won't be dead forever. I think he'll come back in the next episode. It's a Marvel.
Yeah, I know. That was the same thing as, like, I can't fucking remember. Oh, I think it was someone talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they were.
I really want to watch that fucking movie.
They were making, like, I guess there's a sad point in the movie.
Yeah.
They were just, like, making an argument where it's like the sadness in these movies, like the sad points in movies and TV shows are becoming so manufactured to, like, get this response from you that you can see them coming from a mile away now. Like, so it just doesn't actually hit you that differently. And he was like, his example was Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it happened in Encanto as well.
Okay, but I heard Everything Everywhere All at Once is, like, actually brilliant and good.
Yeah, I'm sure
it comes from a real place.
I'm sure it could be. I think the guy is just saying that that this moment doesn't hit as hard anymore because it keeps happening.
Could that potentially be the fact that you've come to understand that the end of the second act of any story is going to be the long dark, what is it called? The long dark something of the soul. Like, it is the bottom point.
Voyage?
Maybe, I don't know.
But that all I'm saying is that
at the end of the second act, the saddest thing in the movie happens. That's called structure.
Yeah. What I'm saying though is that from the point is that when Steven started to fight back and he started to, like, be like, I'm you, so I guess I can do these things too. Mm-hmm. I was like, bye.
Yes.
Hello, death flags. I see you. And then, like, when he falls off, when Mark is, like, about to fall off and shit, and then, like, he helps him, and then he just, like, flips over the edge. Very fucking a Silent Voice-esque. And that's just, like, that he dies, and it's, like, this long shot of him, like,
turning into sand.
I was just like, I'm sure for someone this could be, like, a huge moment if you're really invested in these characters.
Yeah.
But for me, I was just like, okay.
Yeah,
it was bound to happen.
I was more invested. Like, I could tell, like, oh yes, Steven will probably die.
Yeah.
Like, or Mark, one of them, probably Steven, just because he's less capable. And we've kind of come full circle with his character at this moment.
Yeah.
Which is good. You know, like, that's not bad writing. It is just normal. That is how you tell a story.
Yeah,
like,
it's just happening so often now that it's, like, losing a lot of its luster.
Yeah, and I think, you know, movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once and other kind of art housey movies coming out more now might potentially turn things on their head a little bit and be a bit more experimental with structure and not doing the same, like, this is what happens at the end of Act 2. This is how you tell, like, a successful story, right? Yeah. You know, this is how you do beginning, middle, end. These things happen in between, right? Like, you know, and it's not that that's, like, a cookie cutter. It's that, like, simply that is how you tell a good story. But we are experiencing more stories than any culture has before in the same amount of time, right? So obviously we are getting tired of seeing this, like, this sort of narrative that is all encompassing. And we want to see stuff that's maybe being a little bit more experimental. But that doesn't mean that it's, like, bad to have those things. It's normal. Like, you know, Star Wars does the same thing. At the end of fucking Empire Strikes Back, it's Luke, I am your father. It's the saddest point in the story, which, you know, takes place over 3 pieces, right? Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Or the same moment in just Star Wars would be the death of Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I like to think that that's, like, towards the end of the movie, but it actually happens, like, 40 minutes in.
No fucking way. I thought it's at the end of Act 2. Is it not 2/3 in?
Okay, it's like, it's probably, like, like an hour in then.
Okay.
But, like, you know, it's like they go, like, think about that, what happens in that fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
He, like, Luke Skywalker.
Because after that happens, they leave.
He meets Obi-Wan. His parents get killed. They go to the Death Star. Obi-Wan dies.
They go to Mos Eisley.
They go to Mos Eisley, meet Han Solo. They go to the Death Star.
A bunch of shit happens on the Death Star. That's, like, maybe the biggest chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And then they leave the Death Star and they immediately go to Yavin, and then they go back to the Death Star and blow it up. Mm-hmm. So I think it's about 2/3.
Yeah. I saw this funny ass post about Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Think about how many things show up on the Millennium Falcon that were all Anakin's.
Anakin's kid, his other kid,
his mentor,
his
droids.
Yeah,
both of them.
There
was a fucking another one. I think I liked it on. No, I didn't. Shit. I think it might have been a TikTok then. But it was like
his grandkid.
His grandkid.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Adam Driver.
Oh yeah, no, but I meant like in the first movie, in episode 4, yeah. When the Han Solo pretty much pulls up with his
Kingdom
old
Hearts.
asteroid mech, his old droid, his son to save his daughter, and then with his mentor, and then shows up at the end of the movie and shoots him out of the fucking sky, and then leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Anyways, Moon Knight.
Oh, and his old lightsaber.
And his old lightsaber.
Yeah. But Moon Knight, I'm looking forward to the finale. I'm pretty happy with the show so far. I just kind of need them to end it. My biggest questions are, is there the third altar? What is actually real? Which I think the most interesting thing to be with that is be vague. And I just want to see what's his face get his ass beat, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
I need the can opener.
Oh yeah, here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a good show.
It's definitely I enjoy it more than Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, because I think it's got a much smarter emotional core than Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I would say Falcon and Winter Soldier is like the lowest of the shows.
Not Hawkeye?
I like Hawkeye.
I like Hawkeye, but I think it's flawed as fuck, especially the ending.
I don't think it's better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, though.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Fuck, wait. No, I don't think Falcon and Winter Soldier is better than Hawkeye.
Okay.
I enjoy what I watch of Hawkeye. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier just goes like...
I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier has a much better action element.
It goes way too long in my opinion, and just the hard turn that fucking Carly goes through just to become like, oh, you need me to be like a supervillain now instead of be like a person with normal ideals was like kind of lame.
Yeah. No,
like obviously I knew they were going to do it, but what I'm saying is like the way they do it is
it's
just
very
like,
it's very obvious.
She is there, she's killing like soldiers who get in her way.
It's even more like lame
and
than
she becomes like a serial killer.
Yeah, it's even more lame than like the way they did Killmonger. As like a person who has a point, but then goes so fucking evil.
Well, like Killmonger's point is that like he's like there's still oppression out there, and he's just like I'm tired of it, so we're gonna go become like wage war. And it's like honestly, it's like I could see how an extremist gets to this point.
Yeah,
and he's had years and years of buildup of
like I think arguably the fact that he's like we should do the colonialism and say that like the sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire is stupid, and I think in real life no person would say that.
Yeah, no, you're like for sure. But like Carly going like having a lot less power, just turning around and being like, time to kill.
Yeah, no fact.
Time to kill people who would legitimately actually go, like I think there was people that in that meeting that she wanted to kill that were like on her side.
There was like one person.
Yeah, but still,
I would still say it's not.
Or it's like the Riddler.
Most of those,
the Riddler and the Batman.
Yeah, but at least the Riddler, it's like pretty clear from the beginning that he's not actually interested socially in social change, that he's mostly interested in
revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like you see that change for Carly over the course of the series, but it's not very smart or interesting and makes the series dumber as a whole.
She has one friend die on purpose after she kills the guy who kills her friend, and then she goes like, well, I guess I'll be a villain now.
Yeah, she's like, she accidentally murders what's his name? U.S. agent's partner.
Yeah.
And then U.S. agent kills her friend on purpose.
Yeah, with the shield. Ooh, did you hear about that? They fucking censored it.
How did they censor it?
They took up the blood on the shield.
No fucking way.
After he fucking like caves that dude's skull in with the shield and shit, or caves his chest in. You know, he picks up the shield. He like does the Captain America.
It's got the blood dripping off of it.
They took it away.
They changed it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, they got rid of it.
That's stupid. Like even here, or because I know they. I
have no idea because I know they do censor things.
I know they altered some blood in something.
They alter blood, and then they also, they have the gay hating slug in Star Wars.
Facts,
what if that dude? What if that's
you
how
can
they
play him in Lego Star Wars?
That's how they fix Doctor Strange 2 from Saudi Arabia.
That'd be funny.
Instead of showing America Chavez as like gay parents or whatever.
Yeah, or her girlfriend, or her just like trying.
I think it's that she has 2 lesbian parents.
She has 2. Well, it's both. She's a lesbian and she has lesbian parents.
Okay, but the one that people are talking about specifically is that Saudi Arabia caught wind that there is a lesbian parentage in it. And they're asking for edits, and I just think it would be so funny if all they did was just put that fucking
one of her parents
in.
is the slug.
Yeah, so it's male.
Yeah. Mom, Dad.
Oh, that's all I would do if I was like Disney. I would just be like, all right, here, let me send you this, and I do a version of I get the actors back in. I get the actors back in, but all I do is change one of the parents to be a horse. And then
so much worse.
Yeah, I know, gay. But I want to see what they hate more: gay people or bestiality.
Can the horse talk?
It's Mr. Ed. Also, we're gonna digitally alter the other person to be Mr. Hands.
Bro, yeah.
It's just the scene comes up, you just edit it the entire Mr. Hands video. Or it's like, two men are about to kiss, and it's just the one guy, one jar video.
Oh my god!
You just literally like shock horror porn.
That's funny.
There's some.
Yeah, I am really hyped to see Multiverse of Madness next week. Though, yeah, honestly,
fucking lucky I went and looked at those tickets.
Yeah,
not really. There's so many screenings.
Yeah, I figured.
I when I sent you that fucking thing,
we usually book it like a day before.
I know, but like I was just in case.
Yeah. Dude,
well, I
honestly,
want to get good seats. So.
I'm excited. I'm like so happy. I love going on our boy dates.
We're going on to one of the smaller VIP theaters.
Oh, not the nearest by one.
No, we're going to the nearest by one.
Okay,
we're going to the one we always go to. It's just like it has like the 7
one with fewer
rows.
seats.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're in like C.
Love it, dude. We can hold hands and we can watch Doctor Strange.
Oh no, we're in C, but like the totally other ends. The seats in the middle were available. I just didn't want to be anywhere near you.
You asshole. We can hold hands and we can kiss when America Chavez kisses any girl in the movie.
Bro, what if she kisses Wanda? That would be so hot.
Ooh, let's fucking go. Except for the fact that like she's...
How old is she?
Wanda's supposed to be young. I think she's
Wanda's
a teenager.
like in her 20s.
Okay, I think America Chavez is supposed to be a teenager. But I could be wrong. It depends on the... Because like in the first... thing she
looks pretty young in like the vague things we've seen.
So in when she was in Young Avengers, the Young Avengers were all kind of like young adults, like 19 to 22 ages, like all like kind of college aged, and she was I think around that same age. Yeah. So, but I think before that, like in her previous appearances, she was portrayed as being like 16, 17. So. Depends on their choices here. I'm sure the actress is like 25.
Yeah, so we'll do a spoiler cast for it now.
And I guess Wanda's not supposed to be very old either.
She's definitely like in her early 20s. The actress who is playing America Chavez is 16 years old.
Okay. So then...
I take back what I just said. Maybe in 4 years it'll be...
That would be sus and bad. I didn't know. I've not seen the actress's face yet.
What if Elizabeth Olsen and Rachel McAdams kiss?
Okay, dude, let's not be this podcast.
Bro, like, what if I
What if 2 girls kissed and I jacked off?
That'd be crazy.
And neither of them liked it, but I liked it.
I have no idea who this woman is, but like it doesn't say who she plays in the movie. But the actress's name is Haruka Oshima, and her fucking picture on the front, like that they use for her, like her character, whatever.
For headshots. That's pretty rad.
She's Japanese kung fu, a fucking karate woman.
Yeah,
kung fu's Chinese. She's 31. Maybe
she's one of America Chavez's moms.
Maybe. She looks like she does like stunts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up.
Anyway, they confirmed that the Illuminati are called the Illuminati in this movie, which is an interesting choice. And also, we saw in the most recent TV spot, there must be a million secrets in this fucking movie. I'm sure it's going to be like Endgame, where it's less of a movie and more of a collections of things, which is fine. Like, at this point, it can't be a movie. It has to be a collection of things. Yeah. Because we saw fucking Captain Carter's shield in the last TV spot.
Yeah.
In fighting against Wanda in the like Illuminati building. The like same visual element of the building. So like Captain Carter's in this movie. Cool. But yeah, thanks so much for listening and or watching. If you want to find more of us, youtube.com/NAScomedy. Or we're also on all audio sites, so like shit like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and shit like that. Excuse me. If you want to find me, I'm at The Media Hole on Twitter, at The Media Hole on TikTok, twitch.tv/The Media Hole, and www.whenyourballs.get stuck to your leg.tumblr.com. If you want to follow Ian, he is at StrugglesV on everything. He recently came under fire for saying that a woman can't be Thor and that Natalie Portman should have medically transitioned into a man to be able to play Thor in the last movie. What if Natalie Portman
and Tessa Thompson kiss?
That'd be dope, actually.
What if two other female characters?
At least Tessa Thompson's actually bisexual.
What if like two
what
men?
What if like in real life? Hold on. What if like in actual real life has probably happened? Tessa Thompson and Brie Larson, two women who are bisexual and are friends, and I'm almost certain have kissed in real life, kissed in a movie.
Well,
Marvel movie. That'd
maybe.
be cool. Anyway, thanks. Bye.